Looks like we're live, Noe.
Hi guys.
And in a minute, the 30 or so people that were watching this video should be redirected to this stream. But this is my first time trying this, so I don't know if it's going to work or not. It looks like it's not. YouTube, yeah, so it's telling you you're supposed to press that button and you're on the live stream, right? All right then, we're on the live stream. And welcome to everyone that's on the screen here with us. Let me put this on. We've been doing a lot of live streams lately because we've been doing pretty good at live streams.
Yeah.
Especially over on TikTok. We've been getting a lot of people, like 14,000. Which,
crazy.
I know, which I don't understand because I've been on YouTube for like 10 years. TikTok I've been on for like a year, you know? I don't know. I think the TikTok crowd might just like me more.
They love you.
Okay, let me skip. Looks like we're on here. We got some people watching. Anderson Koenig. Is she Cuban? She is Venezuelan, Anderson. But I see you got the two little dots over your name, so I guess that's are you European? Since we're asking lineages here. Robin Videos is here. How you doing, trustee of the Most High? I saw you in the premiere. Thank you. And we just wanted to do this little video premiere. We went out today. We were tasting our mangoes. We got to taste her favorite variety, her formerly favorite variety, which is the Glen. I'll let her get a taste of this guy right now. Go ahead.
God,
Eat the rest of that.
Yes.
And I'll have a little bit too. Oh, and then the other thing, we got this jackfruit here. It's time to cut into that sucker and start eating them. And then if you look here, I made some homemade jam. Why is that drip? Oh, that's just condensation from the fridge. From our leftover mangoes. A lot of times we have what I call uglies, right? Ones that I don't send to the customers because they look so scarred up, even though the fruit's fine on the inside. I make jam out of it. But actually, I've also started selling the uglies in a 10-pound box. Well, as close to 10 pounds as we can get.
Yeah.
8 to 10 pounds. Usually it's 9.5, 10 pounds. And they're uglies. And we're going to be selling them for the rest of the week until all the uglies are gone. They're mostly gone off the tree now.
Yeah.
At a discounted price. And that's for people who, a lot of people say to me, hey, I'd love to buy your mangoes, I'd love to buy your avocados because you're really, really expensive. Which I really don't understand because then I give them a link to the other people that sell fruit online, and I'm 1/3 the price. So, and these uglies are even less. Of course I want you to eat, but I also want you to cut it for me. So let's see, who do we got out here? We got Jupiter, of course we do. How you doing, Jupiter? Trustee of the Most High, you've been eating mangoes your whole life. Have you been eating them today? Because it seems like that's all I've been eating. I did have some ribs. But I've been eating mango all day. All day.
We get
all day.
Belly.
We ate so many different kinds of mango. And we're going to eat a few different kinds of mango today. For example, this is the Glen. The Glen variety. And there's another Glen right here. So we're going to have two Glens.
I have a question for you.
Tell me,
How do you know the difference between a Hayden and a Glen?
Okay. Here's the Hayden. Right away, the Hayden is more round. It's more symmetrical in its roundness, right? Where the Glen has sort of a flat orientation and a narrow orientation, right? The Hayden is a little more ball-shaped. Number two, the coloration. Haydens get this nice peach when they start to go. Glens get this nice peach color. Now, I will say Haydens get it too. But that's the main way, is the shape and the this little bit of color. You need a cough?
Yeah.
No, he's having a little issue with some bronchitis this week. Walked out in the middle of me answering her question. Jupiter Mojo, last name ends in a vowel, and he's born in New Jersey. Guess my nationality, Tom. I would say you tuned into every episode of The Sopranos when it was when it was running on HBO. No? Trustee of the Most High, you picked 3 small ones from your park 4 blocks away. Whose mangoes were they that you picked from the park 4 blocks away? Oh my God, this one is so good. Oh. Noe will be right back. She's taking her performance-enhancing drugs. or inhaler. I used to race bicycles, like masters, like 35 plus, and about 15 minutes before every race, everybody would disappear, and all you would hear is this noise coming from the parking lot. Everybody would go into the parking lot and like suck down a whole inhaler. I've never, aside from youth 7v7 football, which I think has more cheating than anything in the world. Cycling was so dirty. Cheating as far as like drugs go, you know.
Oh my God, this blend is amazing.
The blend is amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Trustee of the Most Highs, the supermarket mangoes taste so bad. And they do. What's Up is out there giving us stars and a thumbs up. How you doing? Patriot Girl loves our mangoes. Truth in a World of Lies. Yummy. He's going to put his order in. Thank you. And Trustee, you're right. The supermarket mangoes are bad because they're usually, a lot of times they're a very high quality variety called Kent. There's another high quality variety called a Tulfo. And if you grow Kent in your backyard, if you grow a Tulfo in your backyard, and you let them ripen, and you pick them at the right time, you let them finish ripening on your counter. A lot of people think you let a mango ripen all the way on the tree. I find that takes them past their prime sweetness. People will argue with me all you want. I pick tens of thousands of pounds of these things every year. There are maybe a few varieties. They don't taste bad off the tree, but I don't think they taste their best fully ripened on a tree. But anyways, you have an Atulfo or a Kent in your backyard. You go out, it's ready to pick, you pick it, you let it sit on your counter for a couple days at room temperature, like we did with this Glen, that we're about to eat another Glen. And you're in for a treat.
Yes.
On the other hand, you pick it, can you just over the cutting board?
Sure.
You pick it 2 weeks early and you deep chill it so that it slows the ripening process. And you stick it on a container ship and you ship it across to the United States. And when it gets to the port of entry, they put it through a machine that hits it with radiation. Then it gets to where it's going and they hit it with ethylene gas to speed up the ripening. And then they put it on a shelf in your supermarket and then you buy it. By the time you get it home, there's so much cell damage from all those handling steps that it's going to taste disgusting. So while they're the same exact mango, it's the handling. And that's the same for tomatoes and all kinds of stuff. And people hear me say this all the time.
Yeah.
Trustee works with bicycles doing food deliveries.
Oh, really?
Okay. You deliver food on a bicycle, or you must live in a urban, like a city then somewhere. Well,
that's cool.
wait a minute. You live where there's mangoes. Somebody just had a mango out of a park, they told me. Who told me that? Trustee. Okay, so you're eating, and then Trustee also the public park, but he also delivered. So you live somewhere where mangoes grow, and you also deliver food on a bicycle?
So cool.
Jesus Christ, dude! How much water do you drink in a day? Because wherever you are is super hot, and if you're running around doing food deliveries on a bike, because I know I drink a few gallons a day just out working in the Grove.
Yeah.
I asked one of my buddies, he drinks 5 gallons a day.
Really?
This time of year. This time of year. I went out the door the other morning. I was just going to bring my thermos. I have a big thermos. It holds probably a liter. And I said, you know what? Let me bring another gallon. And then on the way out the door, I said, let me bring another gallon. And then I attached the trailer to the truck, put the equipment on the trailer, stopped for gas. By the time I was pulling out of the gas station, my thermos, my liter, was almost gone.
You gotta be kidding.
Didn't even start work.
No way.
Didn't even start work yet. Mm-hmm.
This is real good.
Okay, now, I picked this one a couple days ago.
Okay.
Still hard on the tree. This is better than that little golden one we just ate that was ripened off of the same tree.
That's amazing.
Right? There it is. It proves it right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the smell. When they sit on the tree, they get like a jelly seed.
Yeah, you don't.
If you leave them on the tree too long, they feel more like a water balloon. Like this, you can feel the flesh. They start feeling like a water balloon.
Can you get the computer closer to me a little bit so I can see the question?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little closer.
You want to start cutting open that jackfruit by chance?
Ooh.
The questions are, trustee of the Most High's in Florida, goddamn, you must drink an awful lot of water. It's impossible to have natural food in the streets of New York. Right, that's why I asked you, if you had mango growing and you,
Yeah.
I figured if you deliver by bike in America, where are you gonna be? New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, DC, Boston, somewhere up in the Northeast, right? Or maybe out in California somewhere. Aren't you gonna do that on the cutting board, dude? You're just gonna rip it open?
Yeah, for
Okay.
the
So jackfruit, we can just go ahead. Here, let me hide this.
I just wanted to show
Okay.
that, you know?
Yeah, and then I guess out in, maybe in Chicago, right, and certain other Minneapolis, certain other big cities in the summertime. But man, delivering food on a bike in Florida. Okay, so we just got this jackfruit. Go ahead, rip it open. It feels ready. It,
Oh,
yeah.
oh my God,
Let's
you
show it.
guys.
Go ahead.
Look at this.
Here we are. Oh, it smells
Smells so good.
Oh my God, the skin
Smells so good.
smells nasty.
Oh,
But this fruit on the inside,
look at this.
if you've never had jackfruit, first of all, it smells like juicy fruit gum.
Oh my
There's a
God.
latex on it. We're supposed to have olive oil on
We
our fingers,
forgot.
but we didn't do that.
We forgot.
Um,
Should we stop putting it in?
I
No.
don't care about that.
Oh,
And then what you do is you pick these little bulbs out,
and you get the seed out.
and then each one has a seed, which we used to throw away, but now you bake them or boil them.
I'm baking.
She bakes the seeds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You guys, you know, these seeds are amazing. You can put salt, a little bit of olive oil, and a little bit of pepper, and you can bake them
So good.
at 350 for 20 minutes, and it tastes amazing.
Yeah. Oh, this is perfect.
This is incredible.
Oh. Oh my God, Noe. No dinner tonight. This is our dinner. Now,
Wow.
Noe's friend gave her this jackfruit, and the same friend gave her 2 last week. The first one was okay. The second one came off the tree too early. This one is perfect. This one was sent here from heaven. I mean, look, it's not a crunchy variety. Whatever variety is, it's mushy.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. Could be a lot of them are grown from seed.
Look at that.
Oh, that whoa.
This is so amazing. Save all the seeds,
Akam
honey.
Mazer 91. Hi guys, his trees finally produced this year. He got a maha and a handful of pickering. First of all, excellent choice on varieties. They're not supposed to taste good the first year. I don't believe that. I believe your fruit will taste, I don't know, I've never had that experience.
No.
I mean, now I generally prune my fruits away early in the season, the first, as my trees are growing. So I might not have good empirical data in my own experience to go by. But I wouldn't be a bit surprised if your maha and your pickering tasted good, but excellent choices on varieties. Yeah, your plants didn't get the memo and they're delicious. Yeah, you know what, dude? There's a lot of bullshit. There's a couple of Facebook pages about mangoes, which lately all it is people complaining about mangoes they bought and then whining and crying that they didn't get their money's worth. And, oh, don't buy from this guy, yada, yada. There's a lot of crying about that, but there's also a lot of old wives' tales that are on these Facebook pages. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but I personally don't have experience with a subpar mango in the first year of harvesting it from a tree. I'm not even sure why that would be. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever, it could be true, but I've not experienced it. But excellent choice. We got a bunch of maha last year off of our Maha Chinook variety mango, which is a great variety. Looks a little bit like this guy here, which is the Namdak Mai, except for it's smaller and it's more white in color, less green, right? But looks a little like a Maha Chinook, has a paper thin seed. Almost no seed at all. Paper thin on the
Why do you
inside.
think that is? Just because.
Mother Nature. It's just how Mother Nature made them. and a honey sweet flavor. Here's another Namdak Mai, but a Maha's kind of looks like that too. And a honey sweet flavor, a nice white flesh. So anyways, we got a few off of our Maha last year. This year I only got one. And I had some friends come to visit on Wednesday. And they brought another friend, who I'm not as close with. I know her, but you know, she's closer with them. Turns out she's a mango fanatic.
Crazy.
Right?
Crazy.
She loves mango, and she knew everything. She knew about varieties and grafting. I mean, she knows her stuff. And so when we took the tour, I saw that one Maha Chinook hanging there, and I said, Andrea, I left that there for you. Go ahead and pick it.
Oh, that was very sweet.
And she picked it, yeah.
No.
And then I had another one of our house varieties. Didn't we pick a few of those today? Or maybe we only picked, this one here. No, that's not ours. I don't know. We had one of our house variety, which is called Valiant. Was also, I left that one for her on the tree too. But Maha's.
She didn't want to leave.
No, I didn't want them to leave. I had a great time with them. But Maha's a great choice. Let's see. Okay, so now Jupiter Mojo. Dehydration is no joke. You're right. You've got a case of trioral hydration electrolyte powder packets that you drink. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I used to be. One year, I tried to be a fishing guide. I tried to be a farmer / fishing guide, and we were going to do like agritourism, and it was doing good. In fact, one of our earliest clients just came back and stayed with us last week.
He became a friend.
But as a friend, you know, we just let him stay in the spare room. But we were having people camp here, and we have a little camper we'd set up for people, and I would take them on fishing tours and things. And everybody from out of the state of Florida underestimates our sun. Like they're worried about gators. They're worried about Africanized honeybees. They're worried about water moccasins.
Yeah.
Now, okay, worry a little bit about water moccasins. Yeah, right? Okay, no, the sun. And I would tell everyone I took out on a tour, take as much water as you normally bring with you in the summer and triple it. Always. And I quickly learned nobody would do that. They'd show up with a half-drank 20-ounce bottle of water. So I always had a bottle of water stashed in my somewhere in my boat. Now they'd be warm as hell because it was just a little boat. I'd be taking people out in the swamp. But by the time you're that thirsty, they wouldn't care. And yeah, the sun is just brutal down here, just brutal. I mean, I pick all morning, and it's bad enough being in the sun. But when we get to work in the garage, boxing everything up,
Oh my God.
it's like 104, 106 degrees in there. It is just
The last
deadly.
time they were super sweet, and he put like an AC there, and it made a huge difference with
Yeah.
the fan because it's just so hot.
Yep.
So hot.
Yeah. Redline recording. What variety of jackfruit? We don't know. And the woman we got it from, she's not into jackfruit. This is a classic case of a win-win situation. She feels as though we're doing her a favor, getting rid of them so they don't fall on the ground. And we feel that she's doing us a favor,
A huge favor.
giving them to us because we love them so much. I don't know the variety. It's obviously it's easy peel. Obviously it's not crunchy. I really don't know. I know a lot of people do grow jackfruit from seed. While it doesn't like grow true to seed, you still wind up with a decent jackfruit when it's all said and done. Dang, I just
Amazing.
Well, well, last year we really started eating a lot of jackfruit. We really started going to town on jackfruit.
I love everything. I love this.
Again, for people unfamiliar, it's just, this is a small one.
Yeah.
They get up to 50 pounds around here. They break 100 pounds over in Asia. And there's like a core that's got these petals coming off. And then each petal has a seed in the middle. I was trying not to get it all over my hands, but I did. There's the seed.
I love the seed.
And then we eat the petal. And then some varieties even have these little strings in between.
Do you like the strings?
I do. I don't know if they're future petals or what they are.
Oh, okay.
But some varieties, that's sweet also. Nah, not so much this one. It's
No.
a little bit, but not so much.
No.
Not so much. Probably tastes about the same as the one that was a little underripe that we
Yeah,
had last
yeah,
week.
yeah, exactly.
It's just missing a little bit of flavor. Let's get to an announcement before we bore everybody and start losing people on a Saturday afternoon. And the announcement is that next Sunday,
Yeah.
June 8th, we're gonna do a mango sale here at Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm, which is, get your pen and pencil ready. Okay, are you ready? Probably not. Are you ready now? Probably not, but you can always go back and replay this video. Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm, 19280 Southwest 270th Street, Homestead, Florida, 33031, right? Yeah. And starts at 11 in the morning. And it's gonna be whatever I have, whatever I picked the day before, whatever's left over from what we didn't sell, plus whatever I pick in addition. We'll probably have mamey. Yeah, I think we'll have mamey as well. And maybe a few other fruits, but it's primarily gonna be mango. We're gonna have what we in the industry call number ones, which are the high quality, clean ones. We're also gonna have some uglies at a reduced price. The true mango enthusiast takes the uglies just to save the money or to buy more mango, because they know the flesh is just as good inside. And so again, that's going to be next Sunday, June 8th, starting at 11 a.m. Our place is hard to find.
Yes.
Our dirt road is very rutted and difficult to navigate. I've heard all the complaints you're going to tell me when you get here, so just suck it up.
And come.
We're hidden for a reason, and if you
Exactly.
want to come to our little hiding spot, you're gonna have to go through some of the bullshit we go through when we get here,
You're
right?
going to love it here.
So anyway, June 8th, 11 a.m., Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm, 19280 Southwest 270th Street, Homestead, Florida, 33031. Your GPS will get you here. Greater Good Saturday, no, Sunday, Greater Good, Sunday. Did I give the wrong day? Sunday, I believe it's June 8th,
I
right?
think, yeah, go on.
Let's see, May,
Move.
June,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Sunday,
Sunday.
June 8th, Greater Good. And we're gonna hang out. If you come, bring if you wanna hang like for a while, bring yourself a little, like a little
Yeah.
tent, you know, like a little one of them
Let's
little
hang
sun
out.
tents.
Let's have a party.
Yeah, bring your chairs, you know what I mean? If you wanna just come hit and run, get some mangoes and go, that's cool
Bring
too.
the family.
If you wanna bring a dog, don't come.
Don't come.
Or leave the dog in the car because the neighbor's dogs will rip it to shreds.
Yeah. They will kill your dog.
Yeah, and if you want to like negotiate a lower price, I can save you the trip because it's gonna be
No.
such a good price that it'll be offensive to ask me for anything less, and I'm gonna tell people that.
Love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, when they say, hey, can I have this for free? I'm gonna say, hey, can you just give me money for no reason? Because that's what you're asking me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, hey, can I have 2 more mangoes for free? Can I have $5 for nothing? Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, so, but leave the dogs at home and leave the complaints at home. Greater Good, Noe's from Venezuela, he knows us. Truth in a World of Lies, thanks for showing different mango trees. So excited to get the different varieties. I'll tell you what, they're really good. What is the Hawthorne mango? Occam's razor, you're the second one to ask me that. I had dinner last night with Julian Lara from Lara Farms Nursery, and he I mean, if someone's gonna have tasted a mango, it's gonna be him. He wasn't familiar with the Hawthorne either. In agriculture, it's very typical for farmers to lease land. I own 5 of my acres, and I lease 25 of the 30 acres. That's very common in agriculture. You know, real estate prices are high, and you get a lot of people who want to buy the land as a speculative investment, and they don't want to farm it. Then you got a lot of farmers who'd love to farm the land, but they can't afford to buy it. So it's really a nice, you know, their chocolate and our peanut butter makes a Reese peanut butter cup.
I like how you put it.
Yeah, and so so a lot of times we're leasing land off of a landowner. In the case of a grove, it's a grove owner. He may be the second or third owner of that property. My grove is just about 100 years old. And my grove owner has a map of what the different trees are, and some of them are called hawthorn. And so far I haven't found anyone who has ever had a hawthorn or heard of a hawthorn.
Okay.
Now I have found like remember this grove goes back to the 1930s. There's colloquialisms, just like fish. Some people call it a bowfin, some people call it a mudfish, some people call dolphin, they call it mahi mahi, they call it dorado. There's colloquialisms. So, and then sometimes there's seedlings or suckers that grow from the rootstock that produce something different than what the rootstock was, and people just slap a name on it. Like I've done that. I have in this grove, I have a tree that's got a couple of rogue branches that are suckers that grew from below the graft line, and they give these beautiful little purple mangoes. They look almost like a passion fruit.
Really?
Yeah, and I call them plum mangoes. I don't know what the hell they are. They're seedling mangoes, But when people ask me the varieties, I call it a plum mango, I'm not writing a PhD thesis on the names of these mangoes, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know what to tell you about the hawthorn mate. I don't know, that's all I know. The guy told me they're hawthorns, and that's what I've been saying,
Jupiter is only, he said it's only 2 hours.
Come on by Jupiter if you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be driving up to that Mango Fest. It's June 29th.
I think it's June 29th.
Up at Palm Beach County Convention Center, and that's going to be a 4-hour round trip for us too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth it to see our mango buddies.
Yeah. We
And
love
we
that.
had people come to our last year's meetup. We had a meetup last year later in the summer, but we got one of those Florida thunderstorms and it chased everybody away. So I wanted to do it a little
We were
early.
so good, remember?
We were, and I just wanted to do a little. Oh, we might have karaoke at this thing on Sunday too.
Really?
We will definitely have karaoke. I don't know if we will have anyone willing to do it.
You will.
Yeah, but I'll be hosting, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you can sing, come to the event, Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm, June 8th, 19280 Southwest 270th Street, Homestead, Florida, 33031. And if you can't make it, but you want to get yourself some mangoes, guacfarm.com.
That's it.
GUACFARM.com. Now, that's our announcement. I also have a confession to make.
What's your confession?
I hurt myself today. I hurt myself today. I sound like, who are them guys? 9 Inch Nails? I know Johnny Cash does a cover. I hurt myself.
Can you tell them what you did? Can you tell them what you did?
Yeah, I was filming the video we just watched in the premiere. And it's cloudy. I only film when it's cloudy because that's when you get the best light. And it's not even hot yet. Like today was in the low 80s, like or maybe 80.
That's
like,
not hot.
Today was comfortable.
Yeah.
Right?
That's not hot.
And this fucking camera tells me it's overheating. Every 90 seconds it's overheating and shutting off and overheating. And I'm in the middle of, guacfarm.com and then blue, right? Internal temperature, right? So my fucking, my blood, my internal temperature was going up too, because I paid $700 for this camera, which already pisses me off because the battery only lasts 30 minutes, and to take the battery out and put a new one in, you have to take the whole tripod mount off. You need like a screwdriver. So anyhow, I thought we could just whip through the last piece before it would overheat again, and it overheated, and I just gave it I don't know, kind of I did it lefty, and I did like an open palm, I don't know, almost like a karate, you know what I mean? I don't know karate or nothing like that.
And what else did you do?
I knocked it to the ground, I threw a knife at it and missed, and then I kicked it hard in order to break it, like I wanted to break it, and it didn't break, and then I had a mango in my hand, and I threw the mango right on top of the camera, and then just as I was about to stomp on it and crush it, I remembered I paid $700 for it. And so I came to my senses. And I'll tell you what, for a shitty camera that overheats and has a very badly engineered battery strategy, it can take a beating, because I beat the piss out of that thing.
And what did
today.
I do? What did I do?
You laughed at me.
Hard.
Yeah, she was laughing. And everything was cool, and the video looked good. I thought the quality came out nice.
Yeah, that was a good video.
That I will say about this camera, it's very simple, which is great for me. I don't have like a cameraman and an editor and anything like that. It's just like a setup. The microphone is good, not great, but it's good enough. Sometimes you can hear the wind in the background. You out of here, Tomboy?
Yeah, where's the mid spray?
That's yours, man. You got to deal with that. I don't know. You were the one that had it. And the quality's really good, especially when you record in 4K. But when you record in 4K, then it overheats even faster.
He threw a huge tantrum.
Yeah. And so we broke up, and then we've reconciled.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna have to deal with that camera, until you guys start watching more of my videos and I make some money. I mean, or you go to guacfarm.com, GUACFARM.com, and buy a bunch of mangoes. We're getting into avocado season, which is when my sales really take off. I mean, we're primarily known for avocados, although we're quickly going up in the mango world.
Sucks in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta fight with the camera.
Yeah.
I'm glad you won.
Well, here's the problem though. I came in to edit the video, and I'm having pain like all in here. Now, that said, look, I cut this top of this finger off last year. Got it sewed back on, came back, picked 750 more pounds of avocado and got it out the door. Like, I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna whine and cry.
No.
However, this hurts. And I wouldn't care if it was like a legit injury, like if I tripped and fell.
No, but you had
it's self-inflicted.
Yeah, and it makes you mad, but you know that you had a good attitude because you were really, really, really mad. And I was trying to not laugh, but I wanted to laugh. But I was trying not to laugh, and then I turned around and I started laughing, and he looked at me and he just started laughing with me.
Yeah.
Because he knew.
Yeah. If there was a body of, if we were near a canal, the camera would be gone. It would be underwater, and then I'd be like, shit, and I would dive down and get it to get the SIM card out, and then I would throw the camera right back in. If we were near water, that camera would have been gone.
I know.
Yeah. So I only hurt myself a little bit, sucks. And welcome. Greater Goods looking at a record year for jackfruit. That's fantastic. And then Sucks in the Garden joined. I got into a fight with my camera. I'd say it was a tie to he won a little. Well, no, he won.
You won.
Because he emerged unscathed, and he's still a piece of shit that's going to overheat on me every 90 seconds, and it's only going to get hotter and sunnier as the summer progresses. You know what Sony says? Use a cooling fan.
Are you serious?
A cooling fan,
Are you
right?
serious?
So it's already noisy enough out here with wind and shit. I'm going to have a fan, like, whirr, a cooling fan. Okay. Akamars, you're right. I'm sure there are tons of varieties lost to time. Alex from, I assume that's Tropical Acres Farm, TAF, found one called Smith that is basically a Hayden but grows at half the speed. Well, I'll tell you this also, as a commercial grower who's bought crops, will buy the crop like sort of like a commodities future. If someone wants the money up front, maybe in December they say, hey, I've got a crop of Simmons. I got, 5 acres of Simmons. We'll strike a price. I'll give them the money up front, and then the risk is on me. Do you get a good crop? Do we get a good price? Am I able to sell enough on guacfarm.com? But he walks away with all his money up front in the month of December with no cost of caretaking, etc., right? Done it with mangoes, done it with mamey, done it with lychee, done it with avocados. And then also the places I lease. I feel like there's slight variance of different fruits. I feel like I've gotten Hayden's out of one farm, and they taste a lot like Hayden's out of another. But when you're picking thousands of them a day, and then you go to the other place, and you notice just some subtle little differences. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
And the story of this grove that I lease, I told it yesterday on TikTok Live. This mango grove, my mango grove, was planted out in the 1930s. So call it 100 years ago, 96, 97 years ago. Call it 100 years, a century old. The trunks are this big around. Back then, I don't know if the Hayden was around yet. I don't know what year the Hayden came around. Maybe it already was, I don't know. But Back then, it's likely they were Moldova, Turpentine, maybe Hayden. If someone wants to Google it and see when the Hayden was first cultivated, and then we could add maybe 10 years to that number, which is when it would be commercially, growing, right? That's that 100-year growth had a variety of mango. And what happens, like any industry, there's trends. Things change, right? Like clothing, sneakers, haircuts, right? Even food, like restaurants are even different now than they were in the 80s and different than they were in the 90s, right? All this kind of stuff. Sports bars were huge in the 90s, fried food baskets, 6 packs of beer in a bucket, right? All kinds of different trends. Well, there's trends in the fruit world too. And as the types of mangoes evolved, if you planted your grove out 30 years prior, 50 years prior, you're set trying to sell maybe last year's style, right? If I would use fashion as a comparison. So in 1980, they stumped all those trees and they top worked the grove, which means you actually graft new varieties onto the grove. So to keep it simple, if you had a grove that was all Moldova, you might top work it and make it all Hayden. Well, then by the time 1980 rolled around, the Tommy Atkins, this guy here, became a popular mango. You might, in the 80s, they decided to, stump the trees, let the shoots grow back and graft new varieties onto those shoots. Now that's a simple example. In a real world example, there's more than one variety mango growing in that grove. And then in the 80s, they cut them all down and they grafted more new varieties, right? And then 11 or 12 years went by and Hurricane Andrew hit and knocked all them trees down. And in order to keep going as a farm, you got to cut the trees at about 6 feet, stand them back up. And they decided to regraft the trees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this grove, these trees are all growing at least their 3rd different variety of mango.
That is so cool.
The stumps are this big around, and when I say at least...
Wow, how do you know this?
The landowner told me.
That is amazing.
But also, if you know about how these trees grow, you could see it.
Really?
Yeah, because when I say the trees are on at least their 3rd variety, when I say at least, some of them had multiple varieties grafted, either on purpose or by accident, or some of them had a variety grafted, and then below the graft, the rootstock came up and gave some whack, like I told you about them little plum, what I call the plum mangoes, right? So some of these trees are on their 4th or 5th
What do the trees look like?
Well, that's this is where you burnt your eye last year on the side.
Okay,
This
but
is
I
that
wasn't, it looks like it's like a canopy.
So this is an old school Florida
That's
mango
all I'm
grove.
asking.
Big giant stumps and a huge canopy that's like walking under an enclosed roof. Right? It's completely shaded underneath, right? A lot of the mangoes are up real high. And then if you look at the stumps, you can see the evidence of where they were top worked and where they were blown down and stood back up.
Really?
Oh yeah, you could see that, and a lot of times it's a big thick trunk, but then there's a lot of like gnarly,
You gotta make a video of this.
I'm gonna go there and make a
This
video,
is
yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, I was waiting for mango season to start, to go there and make the video. And we're into the 3rd week now, so the first couple weeks I'm always a little reluctant to step on the gas as far as marketing goes, because you never know how much fruit you're gonna have. Well, now we're into the 3rd week. If I don't get selling, it's gonna fall off the trees and rot on the ground.
Yeah.
Which means if you want to get some of these early season mangoes, go to guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. Get yourself some mangoes.
Put the link in there.
I'll put the link. So anyway, that's the story of that grove.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and so, there's going to be a little mystery in there. There's going to be a little, maybe the guy says, oh, I grafted Edward on that tree, and maybe he thought he had Edward scions, but he mixed them up for something else. But Edward gets written down, and 1992, 25-ish, 24 years go by, and the previous landowner and the current landowner are saying, oh, that's an Edward tree. Well, you find out it's not. It's a Irwin tree or something.
So,
right?
so those trees, they could have like a little surprise Because you think one thing and then you get something else.
And yes, and in addition, many of the trees have a few branches that have either reverted to rootstock, or the rootstock wasn't a turpentine, so it's not gonna be a clone, it's gonna just sprout out something new.
Oh. Okay.
Or it did revert to rootstock, so I'm picking Hayden's, and then all of a sudden there's one rogue branch with these suckers growing on it. Turpentines.
You gotta make a video. This is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. And so this would have been the offspring of the rootstock, the original little seedlings
Fascinating.
that were grown, say, in the 1930s and grafted onto, never grew fruit for maybe 50, 60 years until after Andrew. And then the grove was top worked and redone. And little by little, one of these branches kind of looks around and says, you know what? I'm gonna sneak out below the graft and I'm gonna start growing, right? Now us as farmers, when we see that, we prune those branches away. But in bigger and older groves, a lot of times you miss it. That's how I wind up with seedling avocados too, every one of which would make a dog lick his asshole to get the taste off his tongue, by the way. Regardless of what people want to tell me in the comments, they're usually disgusting.
No, usually most
seed grown avocado, right? Now,
yeah.
seed grown mango, you're
That's
going.
different.
That's different.
That's
Yeah,
different.
it's
We're
not
talking
necessarily
about
going to
avocado.
blow your mind, but it's not going
Don't
to be.
get confused. We're talking about
Make you
avocado.
retch, yeah. But that's how all of a sudden we'll find an avocado tree with seedling, trees,
Yeah,
kind of in a
seedling.
weird spot in the grove, right? Well, similarly, a few of these turpentines kind of rogue grew, and you'll have a tree that's half Hayden and a few branches of turpentine, which you love the turpentine.
I do.
A
That's
lot
not
of people, this
fascinating.
one's probably better. A lot of people bitch and complain about the turpentine.
Not me.
Nobody's going to show you why they complain. Man, I'm talking a lot. Well, but I guess in a live stream, I was a salesman all my life, and I lived by a lot of different rules and principles and stuff when I was selling. But one of them I live by is if you're talking, you're losing.
Yeah.
You should always have your customer talking in a sales situation. So it's weird for me to actually be yapping like this. Because I want to let other people, well, I guess I do let you talk here in the chat.
Okay.
So Noe's going to show you the difference between that guy right there, which, is there any more of that Glen left? Yes, there is.
Okay.
Right?
That's a
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that, Noe's got the turpentine. Now I'm going to cut a little piece of Glen here. And she'll show you the difference in the flesh. Because when,
Look at the flesh.
here, with this one, with this.
Okay.
No, show them the stringy versus. So when people,
Look at how stringy.
people will say, oh, is that variety stringy? Is that variety fibrous?
Not stringy.
This is what they're talking about. A lot of
You
mango
can see your
varieties
teeth, but I
have
don't
this stringiness,
care. I
and
don't
people
care.
don't like it, right? But one of my favorite varieties, Madame Francois from Haiti, stringy as hell. I love it. Yeah, it's so good. I'll eat them all day.
Wow. This is amazing, babe. Wow.
Okay, here we go. We got some history. Okay, great or good. Hayden started being available around in 1920. So it could be this grove was maybe half Hayden, or probably part Hayden, part Moldova, part turpentine. That's a reasonable,
Yeah.
right? In the lack of any other information, that would not be an unreasonable guess. That would be a common grove to be planted in the 1930s, right? And then more varieties started coming out, like the Glen, the Kit, the Kent. Well, they imported the Nam Doc Mai, the Palmer came along, right? And so as we started coming up with those new and different varieties, people started grafting those into their groves. And that's why this grove has such a variety of different fruit. That's also the reason I can't advertise a particular cultivar. Because if I had 5 acres of Glen, I'm selling you Glen mangoes.
Exactly.
If I had an acre of Glen, an acre of Hayden, an acre of Kit, an acre of Valencia Pride, I could sell by variety. But when I have 5 or 6 trees of 20 or 30 different varieties, I'll run out. I can't sell by variety. And people sometimes get a little pissed at me about that, but I can't help it. I can't sell what I don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Hayden mango first cultivated in 1902 when Captain John J. Hayden planted a Mogoba seedling in Coconut Grove, and the Hayden popped up. Okay, fantastic. Paul Pierce.
Thank you.
Thank you, P-Man. Thanks for the love. Jupiter Mojo, one of those trees produced exceptional fruit, was selected and named the Hayden. And you know what, Jupiter? It is exceptional fruit.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Hayden.
I love the Hayden.
I love it. And people are like, oh, you don't know mangoes. I don't know mangoes. I grow 6 acre, I have a 5 acre grove, and I have an acre growing here of mango. I know mango.
Why would they say that? I don't understand. Why would they put you down like that? You like what you like.
I like what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird. There's gatekeeping in every hobby, right?
Yeah, it's like they want to make you feel bad that you like a certain type of mango.
Yeah, like when we used to mountain bike, right?
Yeah.
And people would say, you're new to this park? I've been riding here 10 years. I've been riding here since before these new trails. Okay, cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they want to be gatekeeping.
So what?
Yeah. I love the Hayden. I love the Hayden.
I love
Now,
the Hayden.
a lot of why I love the Hayden is because it reminds me when I first moved to Florida. You know what I mean?
Really?
And yeah. And I love it. Greater Good. Hayden first produced in 1910. George Kellen figured out how to graft it. Oh, Kellen also. So the guy who brought me one of my favorite mangoes also brought my favorite avocado. That's some good.
cool.
Greater, remember that for me. I'm probably gonna forget that because I'm in the middle of a stream. Sorry about that. Actually, I should write that down. I'm
You
gonna write
should,
that
you
down.
should,
George
you should.
Sellon, George Sellon. Show them how the fiber is around the seed.
Oh,
Did both the Hayden and the Lula. That's really interesting.
look at fiber.
Okay, Mort Homer wants to know: are we eating
Yeah.
his order? No,
No.
because these are our leftovers that we didn't ship last week. So when we're packing orders and we see a Hayden like this that's got a lot of markings on it, we save it for us. I'll make my jam with it. I'll make mango pops, mango smoothies, give them away to friends, give them to people where I coach football. Or on www.guacfarm.com, GUACFARM.com, we started selling the uglies also at a discounted price for people who are strictly into flavor.
Yep.
Why did I say that? So no more. We're not eating your order. In fact, your order is still on the tree, and will stay there until I go pick it on Monday morning, and then it'll be in one of these boxes, and then it'll be on a UPS truck, and then it'll be on your front
Super
porch.
fresh.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Pierce wants to know, he has a 50-foot mango tree that stops giving mangoes, and he would like to know why. Okay, Paul, stopped when? How many years have you not got mango off of it? Number 2, do you know the variety? Number 3, have you been fertilizing it? Number 4, are you using a low nitrogen fertilizer? I feel like number 4 might be the place to start. Get yourself a no nitrogen fertilizer, like a 0020 or something like that, and maybe hit your tree with 5 pounds of that in June or July, and see if that helps you get fruit next year. Yeah.
Great advice.
Now, I have 2 seedling trees. It didn't matter what I did to them. One of them only gave me fruit twice in 13 years.
Yeah.
And one of them gave fruit every year, and they all fell off the damn tree.
Yeah.
And I know there's people out there that are going to say, did you try this? Did you try that? Just know, whenever I tell you something, if I didn't get 1 tree to grow, I got 6 acres to grow, right? Like I'm to produce fruit, right? So It's not me, it's the tree. Like a lot of times it's the tree.
Yeah.
So if your tree is grown from seed, it could be like an alternate bearing tree too. Not every tree gives a crop every year. Not every tree gives a good crop every year. So I'd be interested to know how many years it's been since you got a crop, Paul Pierce. Socks in the garden, generational changes of fruits. That's a super, Socks, there's so many cool stories. Like I grow a variety called the Hall out in my grove, and I got a call from a woman named Nancy Hall, who,
That's so cool.
she herself, I believe she told me she's already in her 70s, and she was doing her family tree and discovered her great uncle like Jebedezer Hall. I can't remember his first name, but it's one of them old-timey type names. You know, you can see him with a wax mustache and stuff. You know, riding a penny farthing. Anyway, he was like the first superintendent of schools of Dade County here in Florida. And he first cultivated the Hall variety avocado. And she found out about his avocados and she started searching and she learned I grow them. And she asked me for a box and I sent her a box of Hall avocados and she was so grateful. And then since then another member of that family has reached out to me and comes to Florida frequently on business and he's going to come visit. And I don't even know if he knows I've been talking to his other family member. Or maybe both of them are lying to me and she just scammed me out of a free box of avocado. But I don't think so because she sent me a whole, she sent me a whole packet of information about her uncle. And he was very active here in the South Dade, just above the Florida Keys, development of this community down here.
What else would
So these, you know, the history of South Florida, oftentimes, you can do a whole history of South Florida, anchoring it to the history of tropical fruits in South Florida, or maybe even the mango. Like you could probably, or the avocado, because the people that cultivated a lot of these new varieties, they were just the pioneers, the homesteaders of the farming region down here.
Yeah.
And so you'll hear a name of a certain type of fruit, a certain type of mango, a certain type of avocado, and then you drive around town, you'll see the auto dealer has that same last name, or there's a city councilman who's got that same last name. You know, these were like sort of the founding fathers, and they were farmers, and one of the things they farmed was tropical fruit. So the history of our industry parallels and has hooks into the history, the evolution, the development of South Florida here, which is really cool. Vargard Nossum. It's a treasure, there is a treasure trove of new varieties. I mean, Vargard's sitting in front of you right here. Except for these two, except for these four. So these turpentines, these grow true to seed. Mm-hmm. And Namdak Mai, that's not Namdak. Namdak Mai grows true to seed, right? But everything else here, if you plant the seed, you're going to get a unique fruit. Now that said, even if you plant the seeds from these Namdaks, even if you plant the seed from these turpentines, these are polyembryonic. So you're going to get multiple seedlings. You might get 3 to 5. All but one will be a clone of the mother. So let's say you plant this seed and it gives you 4 seedlings. 3 of them will grow up and give you this exact fruit. One of them will be a fertilized seedling, which means it'll have pollen from another tree. That one will give you a unique variety. So frankly, even though these grow true and these grow true, they also give you one unique offspring. Which is why sometimes you get you get turpentines when the rootstock comes, and other times you get a variant, or you get a completely new variety of fruit in my grove when a row seedling takes off. Yeah. Okay. Greater Good shipped 25 pounds to your son in Oregon, and where was the other? I lost the, and Wisconsin to your nephew. 25 pounds, that ain't cheap. That's not a cheap shipment, but if you get the Hayden off the tree at the right time, you have a good week. You know, it could take 5-6 days to get there, and they'll still have 3 or 4 days before they're ready to eat. They have a good shelf life. Socks in the garden. No, you think that's a play on words?
Yeah.
Sex in the garden. Like, tell us about socks. Maybe I just leapt to conclusions there. But what exactly are you doing in your garden?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you not wear shoes? Aren't there in your socks? Tell us where your name comes from. Corey Buth, hello to you too. Greater Good, talking to socks, Lethal Designs. You left your good mangoes and you left your trees in the Keys in Key West. Mm-hmm. Now you're container gardening in North Florida, so you have to bring them inside during the North Florida winter. Although I'll tell you what, That snowstorm they had in the Panhandle last year, that was legit.
That was
Real winter, like
That was-
building snowmans, throwing snowballs, accumulation on the ground, and lasted for a couple days.
Yep.
So depending on how far you are, you got some socks said ew. I don't know what she's saying ew to though. Are you saying ew to having sex in the garden or to walking around the garden in your socks?
Yeah, explain.
Yeah. Or some people have sex in their socks. I
Yes.
do something. When it's chilly, you know what I mean? My feet are chilly. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Oh my gosh.
So, the mango jam. So, one of the things I love to make with our excess mangoes, and I didn't get to make a drop of it last year because the mango season was so bad, is mango jam. And last night, Julie and Lara from Lara Farms came to visit, and he made us these delicious lamb tacos.
Oh my God, they were one of the best tacos I ever had in my
I
life.
couldn't stop eating them.
How many tacos I usually eat?
One,
How many tacos I eat? Lisa?
3. But the other thing is these were the big, he got the big tortilla rolls, not the little
Three
guys.
tacos.
And I was shocked. That's probably the most I've ever seen you eat, period, tacos or not.
Yeah, I don't eat that much.
Oh, this is too tight on my head. She ate 3 tacos. And then while Julian was preparing the tacos, I whipped up a batch of jam. Look at that. Look how thick and
That's
nice that is.
so-
Now, this batch, I didn't sterilize the jars and all that. Like, we were just going to keep it in the fridge and eat it.
Yeah,
But
you wouldn't need a stir.
we wanted to eat a little of the jam in front of you. Last stream, we made mango salsa.
So what about Frank?
Frank who?
What do you think?
Coach Frank?
Yeah, Coach
Okay,
Frank.
so when I make my mango salsa, I always bring it to the football field where I'm a football coach, and I give it out to the other coaches. There's some moms and dads that like the fruit and stuff, and actually there's some players. In fact, RJ, he's a high school player now, like our son, but he texted me, he reached out to me and the other day, and he loves mangoes. I give him mangoes all the time, so I went one night and I gave a jar of mango jam to all the coaches. And I turned around and Coach Frank's jar was empty, which I don't even know why he had opened it. And I thought he opened it and it spilled. And I'm like, oh, Coach Frank, what happened to your jam? He's like, I drank it. He drank the jar of jam.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but no, I want you to take a little taste of this stuff. We had it last night before we bottled it. Still hot, out of the pot, served
Look at that.
over coconut pineapple ice cream. Like I would take some of that right now and microwave it and serve it over over vanilla ice cream.
Wow,
Yeah.
babe.
Yeah, or I'm sure we could get like a pastry, like some type of pastry shell and just fill it with this stuff, you know?
That's amazing.
It's so good, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make this?
Well,
This is amazing.
I just cut up as many mangoes as I feel like cutting up.
What varieties are you using here?
This I use Hayden and Tommy.
I can
My
see-
favorite one to use, well, here's what I love to do. In August, I love to make a batch with Valencia Pride that has kind of a yellowish flesh, and a batch with Kit that has an orange flesh. And you see that in the jars. Now this is probably in between the two. A Kit would be a deeper orange, and a straight Valencia Pride would be more yellowish.
Yeah.
And I just like to have the contrast of the different colored mangoes on the shelf, you know, in the jars. But I think my favorite variety to make jam with is the Kit.
The kit?
Yeah, I love the flavor of the Kit. I love the color of the fruit. But also, Kits grow big. Kits will get to 3 pounds plus. So I don't have to physically cut open as many mangoes. You know, I just cut the cheeks off the Kit. And I just take the cheeks and I just squeeze them. Like I just hold the skin and squeeze the, so like, it's just less work for me. Like I can accumulate 10, 12, 20 pounds of Kit flesh really quick. So I take the flesh, and this year I did something different.
What do you do?
Okay.
I feel that you did something
I did.
different.
What I normally do is then I strain the mango because a mango is so juicy. Now, a lot of fruits preserves, you know, like our those berries, mulberries.
Yeah.
You put the berries in the pot, you add water because there's just not enough juice in them. But the mango has so much juice You don't even need to add water to make the jam. Now what I did last year, what I did up to this year, I didn't make any jam last year. Strain the water out, strain the juice out. We set that aside, that's what I make your popsicles with.
Yes.
That's what I make the passion fruit mango juice with. This year, I said, you know what, let me keep the juice in the mango, just all in the pot, and put it real low, and just boil the shit out.
For how long?
Like, you know how they make holy water?
Yeah.
You take water and put it in a pan and boil the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this time around, the handful of batches I've made this year already, I leave all the juice in, okay? Put it in there. If I'm paying attention, I have a 4-to-1 ratio.
Okay.
4 units of mango
Okay.
to 2 units of sugar to 1 unit of fruit. In other words, my mango unit is pounds. So if I'm going to do 4 pounds of mango, then it would be 2 cups of sugar. Yeah, you heard me. 2 cups of sugar and 1 cup of fruit pectin. If I was going to do 16 pounds of mangoes, I guess it would be 16 pounds of mango, 8 cups of sugar, 4 cups of fruit pectin. And everyone gets mad at me about sugar.
They're real mad.
Don't eat my jam.
Mango's so sweet.
It's really not though.
Why do you want to put more sugar into a fruit? They have so much sugar.
Yeah. And this is a fitness girl talking. Like she's on Univision on TV, like with a fitness show. But like, I know people love to say that, but I've tried it. If you make jam, if you make freeze pops, just using the fruit, it's not the same as when you eat the fruit and get hit. Even sapodilla, which is so sweet. There's so much sugar in sapodilla. When you boil it like that, it just loses. It loses its sweetness.
Yeah.
And you wind up with, whatever. Okay. So anyways, that's the recipe. Now, last night I just went like Italian granny style. I just put a bunch of mango in, poured a bunch of sugar, thought it was too much sugar, so I cut up a bunch more mangoes, put that in, took a scoop of fruit pectin, stirred it up, put it on low, let it boil. Now, the reason I've been doing that this year, you know why. Do you know why? Do you want to guess why? What did you have for breakfast today? Or lunch or whatever?
Oh.
Candy.
Yeah.
So when I make this mango jam, it boils down. So let's say it's this high in the pot and I'm stirring it and I have it on low. Eventually it's going to maybe expose, like it's going to boil down by 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And then I scoop it out and I leave what's in the pan. And then we go around it with a rubber spatula and we get fruit leather. And it is so good. It's so good, isn't it?
So good. This morning I ate it all. Like he came out of the bedroom and I go, honey, can I eat your candy? Can I eat it please? He's like, you can have it all. I'm like, yes.
Corey Bethune wished he had his own property. And you know what, Corey, you're not alone. There's a lot of people who grow in containers because either they live in townhouses or they have a condo even and they're on a balcony. Or there might be a young married couple who's saving up to buy their house and they don't want to, they're renting for now. You know, so you're not alone in this. And there's such a boom in fruit production, in backyard fruit tree growing. I mean like an explosion.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah. A lot of the nurseries can't keep up with the demand. Yeah, there's waiting lists for fruits.
People are going crazy with this, yeah.
And you know what I say to those nurseries?
What?
You're welcome. Because the millions and millions of views I got during COVID and during 2021, I think contributed a lot to this boom in South Florida interest in fruit trees, right?
Usually. I know people say, oh my God,
yeah.
She's so egocentric. No, it's the truth.
I could be wrong. I
don't think so.
But I've had.
Because they go and say, well, we saw Tom's video, we're here because of him.
Yeah, or it seems.
And how many times you got that?
Or how many times we meet someone who knows us and they say, I planted a tree because of you.
Because of you.
So.
Okay, so tell me what Greta Good is saying. Tom, you need to buy Tom a
digital bricks meter, which is one of them sugar. You can measure sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't need that. I'm going to tell you why. Because I believe in balance. I believe that you can eat sugar. There's nothing wrong with that. And then in your nutrition, you should have like 20% of things that are not healthy and 80% of things that are very healthy. And if you do that, you can live healthy for the rest of your life. It's all about balance.
Mm-hmm.
I ate ice cream. Last night I ate ice cream.
You did?
Yeah, but I eat very healthy. I eat salads, fruits, vegetables.
I mean, I wouldn't even say you eat healthy, because people who know what you do for a living and know you're on TV as a fitness girl, when we invite them over for dinner, they think they're going to get a salad and a hunk of tofu. And we do cheeseburgers. I just ate ribs, right? I think her secret is she just doesn't overeat.
Yeah,
Like she doesn't. I've never heard her be like, "Oh, I ate too much." Like I've never heard her say that once. I said it twice today already.
Okay, you're right. That's a huge percentage of it. But I gotta disagree with you in a small percentage of it.
Don't.
Because I do eat every day. I make sure I eat vegetables and fruits. Every
I know
day.
that, but of course you have to get the right nutrition.
Yeah, exactly. And
However,
I do. But I less.
you could eat all the right nutrition you want. If you eat too much, you're gonna get fat.
Of course.
I don't care.
Of course.
I get fat on mangoes every summer.
You do. You get a
Yeah.
little belly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I mean, like, I get all the science and fuss, and people love to make a project out of losing weight, but when I used to race bicycles, when I wanted to get small in the summer, I restricted my calories. And by July, I'd be about $137, and I'd be ready to race the Ocala stage race to win it. I never won it, but I'd be, you know. And then after that, I didn't want to walk around like I just got out of chemotherapy or something, you know, with my collar way down here because I had lost so much weight. And I just would increase what I was eating. I would drift back up to about 145, 146, and I'd hang out, right? Hang on. No, what? Say what you got to say. Say what you got to say.
There's a huge difference between you and my clients. You have discipline.
I realize that, but I'm saying there's, like, the law of thermodynamics is universal.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You burn
It's
calories and
yeah.
you consume calories.
Definitely.
And even if you have a slow metabolism, you only maybe burn your calories 10% more efficient
You
than
know that I
someone who
get that a
doesn't.
lot as an
People
excuse.
love slow
Or
metabolism.
they say
Yeah.
to me, you know what they say to me? I have big bones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So anyways, then when I wanted to get big, I would eat more. Not big, I'd just get back to my sort of comfortable weight. I would drift up to 145 and hang out there. And then when I got to be about 50, I said, you know what? First of all, but I kept getting hurt bike racing, so I had to quit that. And I said, now it's time to maybe put a little mass, because as you get into your 50s, you lose
The
muscle
best thing
mass.
you did.
Muscle mass, right? So I just started eating a lot and kind of got chubby, and then started hitting the gym
And you got muscular.
and built muscle. And then in the last 3 months, I haven't been hitting the gym too much, so I'm a little chubby again. But my point is, like, when I wanted to be small, I ate less. When I was doing the Ironman triathlon, I just ate less. Except for the last like 3 weeks of training when you're going crazy. Well, the last like month of training, because the last 2 weeks you kind of take a break. But that last weeks like 6 through 2, those 4 weeks, you're training like 5 hours a day. I could eat 10 cheesecakes. I needed it, that fuel, right? But then when I got to be 50, I started bulking up, got a little chubby, a little double chin, started hitting the gym, restricted my eating, and, you know, put some muscle on. And it was all portion control. I wasn't like going into kinetic stasius or whatever them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I want to start a new hobby, if I want to get into ski jumping and I need to be 127 pounds, I'll just restrict my diet again and I'll lose 50 pounds and I'll be a ski jumper.
You are 100% right, but people are not as disciplined as you are, you know, and it's hard for people to understand that it's all about lower your calorie intake and eating healthy. You gotta do both. If you don't do both, you are never going to lose weight. And
Well, yeah, because when you cut your calories, you have to make sure you hit the right nutrients.
Exactly.
But I didn't care about I just needed to be a certain weight so I could win the bike race.
I know.
Yeah.
It depends on what you want to do too,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna, oh, you're not getting enough vitamin C. Who gives a shit, man? I'll get my vitamin, come on, stop it.
Come on, stop it.
Overcomplicating. Hey, Doug's here. What's up, Doug?
Hey, Doug.
I don't know if you're with Joy, but hello to Joy also.
Hi, Joy.
Me and Doug were chit-chatting, texting today earlier on social media. Joseph Traverso, lies, all lies. I don't know who he's accusing of lying or what the lie is, but he's probably right. There's probably more lies told nowadays than truth. So, you know, if you got to guess if something's true or false, probably truth or a lie. Kind of start with it being a lie, I guess, and, you know, prove it true. Socks in the Garden agrees with Noe. 0 exercise, eat what she wants, just in moderation. Socks,
Yep.
we're liking you more every minute. You never did tell us where the name comes from, though.
Yeah,
And we
she
wanna
was
know.
very shy about it.
We
She
want to
said
know, Socks.
She doesn't want to say it. It makes
Yeah.
it embarrassing.
Greater good. Men get mango belly, women get mango hips during mango season. They do. And that's one of the reasons I wish mango season was year round. You know
What
what
do
I'm
you say?
saying?
What did you say the women get?
Mango hips.
Mango hip. I get mango cola.
Mango
Mango
what?
booty.
Yeah.
My booty gets bigger because of mango.
Alright.
I do.
Socks ain't gonna tell us, is she? Nah.
No,
She's
not.
being coy,
Yeah.
which confirms it.
Yes, that confirms
Sex.
it. Yeah, it's sex.
You have sex
Definitely.
in your garden.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all about sex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I don't. Listen.
Joseph
Good for
Traverso, did you miss the announcement? Yeah, the announcement is that next Sunday, June 8th, look, I have to clap, I have to offset my clap because of my phone related, my camera related injury. Joseph, Sock says she answered a while ago. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
I would have seen it. I'm
Maybe
gonna
you
scroll up.
missed it. You,
Yeah,
are you sure?
we're doing a fruit sale, Joseph, and here at Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm, June 8th, which is next Sunday, starting at 11 a.m. 19280 Southwest 270th Street, Homestead, Florida 33031. Don't bring a dog. What else did I say? Oh, cash only. Bring
Yeah,
cash.
cash on. Don't complain.
Yeah, don't
You
come.
get what you get.
Don't come to my house.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you that, Joseph. Just anyone that's
Yeah.
watching this, just
You get what you get, and come with a good attitude. We want to
Yeah.
have a big party.
Yeah, I got
and
too many
chill
like
and hang out.
we got like you guys, right?
Yeah.
Our YouTube viewers, our TikTok viewers, people that buy our fruit. This is more of a party for y'all.
Yeah, because we love you.
Yeah.
We
But I
really
know I'm
do.
also going to end up with someone who wants to buy like 500 mangoes at 25 cents a piece
We don't want.
so they can drive up to Opalaka and sell them at
No.
$2 a piece. That's not what this is.
No, this is a party for
This
you
is
guys.
for us. You know, we're going to have some karaoke. I want people to bring like tailgating tents, bring your beach chairs,
Yeah, bring your kids.
bring your kids. Just don't bring your dogs.
Don't bring your dog or your
Dogs
cats.
do not do well here
No.
because there's already
And
too
I-
many
okay.
other dogs that are like
Yes.
vicious.
It's not.
And I know you guys, you think your dog is special and it's an exception. No dogs.
No dogs.
No dogs.
You don't understand.
You might not go home with it.
You're not going to go home with it
Yeah.
because you don't understand. It's wild. Like the dogs here are wild. The neighbors.
The dogs here are also coyotes.
They're coyotes. Yeah.
There's coyotes
We
here.
have
I shot a
coyotes.
coyote 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Don't bring.
But
your
also,
dog.
like, I don't know why people think they can just bring a dog to your house.
Yeah. What
Like,
is
I would
that?
never bring a dog.
You know
to
what it
someone's
is?
house.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I love dogs, okay? But everybody assumes that you love dogs too. Have you noticed that, Dave?
They assume I love dogs.
They assume everybody loves
Yeah.
dogs around them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I like your dog at your house, not at my house.
You
know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't bring dogs.
Don't bring dogs.
Don't
That's
pick
a
my
good-
fruit. Don't ever pick
Oh,
anyone's
don't.
fruit.
Yeah, that's rude. That's,
Yeah. But these people know.
They know,
Like these
they
guys know.
that.
Like
You
you're the.
Now
You're,
you
this
have
is
to tell them.
this is for other people that are
No,
gonna
no,
watch this.
you guys are our friends.
Yeah.
You already know this stuff. That you don't pick the fruits unless you ask. You know. They know that, huh?
Doug agrees that we've had an influence on people planting trees.
Yes.
And Doug, wait, Doug just told a little.
What-
He's very proud of his mango belly, regardless of his diabetes. I know.
Every time you come here, Doug,
Oh.
you scared the cheeses out of me.
I know.
You do, because I'm a wellness coach. I have so much knowledge about nutrition. I have clients that are diabetic, and you come here and you eat these fruits, and I'm always like stressing. You make me sweat because you think, oh my God, something's going to happen to them. Oh my God. But I can't tell you no, because the happiness that you get, the smile that you get, it's just priceless.
Yeah.
Do you feel
Well,
the same way?
yeah, and Doug came a number of times. Doug was here the day I put this knife through my thumb. But Doug has come a number of times, and it wasn't his first, second, or third time. It was further down the line when he disclosed about the diabetes.
Yes,
Jesus
naughty,
Christ, you eat an awful lot of,
boy,
you eat an awful lot of fruit for a guy with diabetes.
Yes.
But he knows what he knows what he's doing. He's managing his entire, like when you get chocolate, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'll reduce other stuff so you can eat a little more chocolate when you find a chocolate.
Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly how I do.
Yeah. But I Doug agrees. Oh, okay. Socks is a nickname for her Cambodian name, Sok Nu.
Oh, sorry. Now I feel bad.
I still don't.
You don't believe her? You don't believe her?
I believe her, but I like. No, I still think no matter what your name is, you could have sex in the garden.
You're stuck with that, huh?
We have never. No.
You're stuck with that.
Okay, all right, socks. So you go by socks. That's like a nickname or a term of endearment for the Cambodian name.
Okay.
Sok Nu.
I see
right.
you. I see you.
All right, sorry for accusing you of getting busy
in the garden
amongst the beets and
but if you want to get
turnips.
busy, if you want to
and
get
the
busy
beans.
in the garden, we won't tell anybody. It's okay.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yep. Greater good, she answered right after ew. I only saw the ew part. Lethal Designs, she did. Yeah. I remember, guys, I'm a one-man show. I mean, Noe's been helping me a lot lately. Tell them why you're helping me so much lately. What happened to your business, cutie?
Oh, because
Speaking of like diabetes.
because of Ozempic, you know.
She's a personal trainer and a TV
coach
fitness personality.
And
En Espanol.
En Espanol. And I get a lot of clients. I help them lose weight. I help them get toned. I help them lose their bellies. I help them look amazing. I can do an incredible transformation in 3 months. Give you a nutritional program, give you a fitness program, and that's what I do. And I've been doing that for over 20 years. Last year, Ozempic started getting famous, and people started using that drug that is mostly for diabetes to lose weight. And that drug makes you lose weight so rapidly, it's insane. That you lose muscle mass, you lose bone density, and you start losing your hair too. So people didn't care about the side effects. Those side effects are probably the first month, the first 4 weeks. So people don't care about that. They care that they're going to lose weight, but there's something else that people don't understand. When you lose weight that rapidly, you lose muscle mass. And I don't know if you guys notice about the Ozempic face. You lose the muscles in your face around here, and your face gets droopy, and you get wrinkles. So I know people, they used to look a certain way, and they look like 10 years older because of Ozempic. So to make things short to you,
Too late. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm not getting the same amount of clients because they're using that drug that is helping to lose weight, but they don't know that they're losing a lot of muscles with it. So I'm trying to help those people too, but my business kind of like went a little down between last year and this year. So it's something I got from my business, but it's something very positive because I devoted my extra time to help them, and I've been really, really helping them.
Yeah.
So the unboxings of the when I put the fruits in the boxing, it's 100% me.
Yeah, she's the last person to touch your fruit before you get it.
Yes.
Her job is to put it in the box. If she catches me boxing fruit, she gets mad.
I want to punch them because I don't want anybody to have that job. Because you guys, you don't understand. Like I'm so meticulous on that job because I know when you open that box and you see the fruit, you get so happy. And I want that first impression to be incredible for you because the second is when you try it, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Ozempic, the other thing it makes you lose is clients if you're a fitness trainer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, that said, I mean, Noe typically works with people that are more on a clinical need to lose weight. It's not just, oh, I got a high school reunion or I'm the maid of honor in my cousin's wedding and I need to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds. No, she's helping people who need to lose 150, 170 pounds. And so they, you know, they're working with doctors and they're taking the Ozempic, but then they stop being her client. So the timing was perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
For you to help. Socks, you're right. You definitely have witnesses backing you up. And so sorry we accused you of lewd behavior in your garden.
Sorry.
Although you haven't denied it.
You haven't.
Okay. Lethal Designs. Yeah, I want you to come visit Lethal. We've been talking about this. It feels like
Yeah.
I mean, you've been commenting on my videos for years, right? I'm pretty sure I
remember that.
Yeah. Even before I started doing live streams. And so, I mean, heck, come see us. I don't know where you are. I mean, I don't know if you're like in Wisconsin or something, that might be a challenge. EW, we should have a fruit sale more often, once a month or every 2 weeks. I'll tell you what, EW.
I agree.
You're absolutely right. And there's a few factors. This is going to be a test run. It is tough to get in and out of our property. If you have like a low vehicle, it's a very rutted, difficult dirt road to navigate. It's hard to find, but those are easy problems to solve. I have been wanting to do this for a long time. This year is the first year that I've grown my acreage enough to have enough fruit to have an in-person fruit sale. I have been, my business started growing in COVID, but it really took off 2 years ago. Last year, even more. I really never had any excess fruit. Now, we would have like what we have in front of you here. We're done packing. Maybe we send out 2,000 pounds of mango. Maybe we got 100 pounds of rejects. Well, we had Liz and Fred right around the corner, a couple that ran a little fruit stand. Not even a fruit stand. They just had a table and an umbrella. And I'll be like, Liz, I got mangoes. If you want to look at them, come get them. You know, we had a price. And then she would sell them so cheap. Like, I would give her such a great deal because I wanted them to make money.
Yeah.
And then she would just turn around and give other people a great deal, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
But I'm like, Liz, I'm giving you this deal. Like, she's selling them for less than most people would have sold them to her for. But it's fine with me because all we would have done is made jam or whatever.
No, we did the right thing. We helped them.
So anyways, I'd have a little bit left over. But now this year, I've leased, and we're up to 30 acres now. And so I'm back to selling to the packing house, and you know, we're going to do the fruit sales here. So I think, yeah, I agree with you, EW, that it's something we're going to do, and I would like to do it like a second and fourth Saturday of the month kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes. Managing the cars is going to be, we'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's all smart, nice people, you know what I mean? So we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Socks in the garden, loves her veggie and fruit garden. Her happy space is in the garden. And then for you, it's not work. It's just playing in the garden. Thus, Socks in the garden. We love that. And you know what? There's so many people who come here who that is their hobby, their food source, their meditation, their happy place. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's funny because I've had people bring their children, like teenagers, 12-year-olds, that are into planting. And I've had a woman come, she's in her 80s and she's on a little walker.
I love it.
And she insists, and some of these areas have a lot of roots and unstable ground. And they just love being out here with the trees and the, you know, everything. And so, greater good, let's see here. Oh, here we go, okay. Greater good can't make it unless wife gets home from church. That's okay, Greater. We'll do it again. We're going to do it again.
Yeah,
well, I mean, we start at 11. We'll go all day. Like, there's no...
It's a big
we never have an end time on anything.
Yeah, just come. Come later. It's fine. time.
I mean, we used to have a Halloween party on a Saturday night, and people would bring their tents and campers,
Yeah.
and it would go straight to Sunday night. None of y'all are sleeping here this coming Sunday.
Yeah, don't get
But
don't
just
get
as
the
an
wrong idea.
example.
Don't get the wrong idea.
Yeah, Lethal Designs agrees with you about the Ozempic Noe. I mean, I think there's,
What
you
are
know,
you saying about Sunday?
well, just that so many people are using it, and you know, but I think there are people who it's helping, like it's really helping
No,
people.
no, this drug is really helping people. What I'm saying is it brought my business down, and what I'm saying is some people don't understand the side effects, and but it's really helping, especially the people that are obese.
Yeah.
You know, it's incredible. You know.
Joseph's asking me, with all the fluid I get from eating fruit, why would I also drink soda water? Joseph,
Oh my God.
I am one of those. I know. Look, Gatorade, electrolytes, right? There's several types
You have to.
of sweaters. I don't mean like a sweater like your grandma knits. I mean people who sweat. One who sweats, a sweater, right? You can sweat a lot, you can sweat a little. But then within that, you can sweat a lot and it's just water, or you can sweat, there's a lot of like nutrients and minerals and stuff in your sweat. So you can be someone who sweats a little, but discharges a lot of essential nutrients and whatever, namely salt in a lot of cases, right? On the other hand, you could be someone who sweats a lot, but you're not losing a lot of your essential, you know, potassium and all that stuff. I might have got some of the science wrong, but you get the idea. I happen to be someone who not only sweats a lot, but my sweat contains a lot of what you really want to retain in your body. And I'm susceptible to cramping. So
Usually.
I got, this time of year, I got two choices. Wake up a few times a night screaming in pain, waiting for cramps to go down, or wake up a few times to pee.
Yeah.
And I'll take pee over the cramps.
I
all day,
manage
every
that.
day.
I make sure he has electrolytes.
Yeah, she's always giving me electrolytes. And then,
always.
well, like having been a bike racer, having done 2 Ironman triathlons with all my training here in South Florida, the 2 triathlons I did, one was in Arizona, one was in Hawaii. They're the hottest. Well, actually, Arizona was more dry because it was in the month of April, so it wasn't super hot. Kona was just as hot as it is here in the month of July, in the 90s, you know, 80-90% humidity, whatever. My sunglasses would be caked in salt. In fact, I could go get you a pair of jeans right now that I put in the hamper, and it's just all these swirling lines of salt. I don't know, this, even for me being out earlier today, I'm surprised there's no salt.
Yeah, right here. Is that?
No, that's mango.
That's mango.
But I'm one of those guys that I sweat a lot. I mean, I basically spend all summer soaking wet. I don't care if it rains, I'm already wet. Like, I'm just someone who sweats.
Yeah.
And I just need to continually drink. I also get kidney stones, so I want to keep that flushing going too. Socks in the garden.
What did you say? What did you
She
say?
forgives us for teasing her.
Ah, okay.
To each their own. She's sure many who are comfortable enough may do the jungle twister in their gardens, just not her. We gotta Google that.
Oh,
Jungle
my.
twister.
Jungle twister. Oh my God, you're so funny.
Patriot Girl says Ozempic is dangerous. I believe there are some people having
When you can I
having some
explain why?
hospitalizations and
When you
stuff.
overdo it.
Yeah, I think people who are abusing it.
Yeah, when you can explain why it could be dangerous. When you overdo it, or when you don't have a fitness program that can help you recover the
Put the
muscle
muscle
mass
back, yeah.
that you're losing. So if you just use it without doing a fitness program, it could be very dangerous. Very, very dangerous, because you need muscle to survive, to be healthy. Having muscle help you live longer.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's the secret of being young.
Jupiter says don't bring your Tesla. Okay, we've had a few Teslas here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. Just people who are big babies about their car.
Yes.
I was trying to be polite. But no, we've had one Tesla truck.
Yeah.
But we've had several Teslas.
Several. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually asked the guy for a ride and he said, yeah, and then we never did it. I've never been in a Tesla.
Me neither.
I want to try it sometime.
Really?
Yeah. It's not that bad. It's just there's some ruts and stuff.
Yeah, you made it sound like we're living in
I mean,
jungle.
well, some people, I don't feel like they've ever left the city. Like they come out here like they're in the.
But it's not that bad. You sounded like you make it look scary.
No, people are. My son's friends come over to sleep over. Kids from his football team. They're afraid of the dark. They come from the city.
They are. Okay, never
They
mind.
won't get out the door.
Never mind. You're right.
And their moms won't even get off the asphalt to pick them up. The boys have to walk down the end of the dirt road.
Okay, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
But you have
And then there were people here that thought there was a clown dressed all in red hitting kids one time.
Why?
Because that stupid movie was out about the clown, and they got it in their head. A kid told the mother, and then they believed it, and then they started calling other mothers. Oh, I was like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking children. Anyway.
Okay.
Corey would come if he was closer. Sock says same. Greater good. Now, Lamborghini, greater good. Yeah, I wouldn't bring a Lamborghini down that road.
No.
Now, I have a lowered Volkswagen bus.
And it goes perfect.
I can get in.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. We got a lot of comments here. Okay, Lethal Designs hopes to head back south up near Tallahassee. Joseph, do I ever make ham from mangoes? And then later you correct yourself and say jam, not ham. Yeah, made it last night.
Yeah, but
Probably gonna make some more tonight.
now I have the idea with ham and mango. That might be a good combination, like ham with mango.
Yeah, because you can bake a ham with like a pineapple glaze,
Ooh,
right? And rings of pineapple.
Yes.
Why not slather it up in that, baby?
Yes.
Speaking of, you know what, let me, well, I was thinking maybe we could have little socks in the kitchen. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. You see, Sachs is giving us bad ideas.
Orlin got his mame, and he loves them first time trying them. Thank you, Orlin. Thank you for the purchase, and thank you for the positive feedback.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Orlin, I'm trying to remember, did we meet you at the Father's Day Mango Festival up at Tropical
Sounds
Acres,
familiar.
Orlin?
Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know why it's that name.
And you asked us to keep your identity to ourselves, and we did, and I will still if it was you. Corey, yeah, we're about 3.5 hours away from him. Sox is way the hell over in Washington State.
Oh my God, you're in Washington?
I ship
Oh
a lot
my
of fruit to Washington State. I ship a ton of fruit to Washington
I
State.
just have a good, cool idea.
Tell me.
You know, we should do, now that our son is not, what do you think about this idea? Now that our son is not in football, we should do like a road trip when the season is low and visit all our like customers and just visit them.
It would be great, like in the wintertime.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Mm-hmm. Like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
like, because I know you like to do road trips and visit your dad.
Yeah.
Imagine if every time we stop and visit one of their customers.
Yeah,
You know?
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
I shipped mangoes to a guy in Washington.
You did?
Yeah, and he loved them so much. He sent us back these mushroom growing kits.
Oh.
But I was afraid to plant them because
Wow.
people over there, like in the Northwest, take them
You thought it was
psychedelic mushrooms.
Psychedelics.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And the last time I did that was 1987.
And what happened to you?
I didn't like it very much. And I wanted it to end as fast as it could possibly end. I was at,
How old were you?
well, I was 16,
Uh-huh.
and I was at the old JFK Stadium in Philadelphia, which is where Live Aid.
You were our son age.
I was Tommy's age, and I was watching the Grateful Dead and Bob Dylan perform.
And then you took what?
Magic mushrooms, they called them back then.
Okay,
But that's what, people are doing now.
Okay.
This is 40 years ago, 38 years ago.
Okay, but I need to know. What
Okay,
happened?
so me and my friend Jim tried them, and it was 110 degrees in Philadelphia. It was 100 degrees in Philadelphia that day.
Okay.
But like in the stadium and all the parking lot, you know, you're in a city.
Mm-hmm.
It's even hotter. So call it 110. And we're down in the field, you know, because this is an old JFK Stadium. It was condemned not too long after. This was in 1987.
Okay, 1987?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, July 10th, I believe. You could look up the concert on YouTube.
Okay.
Bob Dylan he played with the Grateful Dead. And it was so hot. Me and Jim, my friend Jim, we were down on the grass in the standing room only.
Okay.
But this stadium was like, this was built before there was any kind of stadium technology.
Okay.
So just a big horseshoe with an open field in the middle. Old-fashioned football field. It was the Philadelphia Eagles football field before they built Veterans Stadium, which has since been torn down and replaced with Lincoln's, you know, right? Okay, so anyways, the bathrooms, you just walked in and there was just a giant circle with a hole, and you just peed in it, like around the circle, like 30 guys could, like it wasn't quite a circle, it was like an oval. Like what horses would go to drink out of.
Like people in India, like when you go to the bathroom, kind of?
No, this was in a bathroom. This wasn't just on the streets. This was in the men's room.
Oh, Jesus.
And they would pour bags of ice in the middle of this trough.
It won't stink.
Well, stink less. And then you would just pee like with like 30 other guys, like all looking at each other.
Oh, you were looking at other guys' wee-wee?
Yes. Yes.
Don't you think that's like weird?
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
You didn't feel comfortable? Somebody next to you? What?
I don't care if someone sees that. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care. Especially when you gotta go, you gotta go. But
And what happened?
well, my point is, it was an old stadium.
Okay.
Right?
Got that point.
Yeah, and there were parts of it that started to crumble and fall and everything. And so anyway, we were in the grass.
Okay.
And you're just crushed in. You at that point you can't like go where you want to go.
And you were hot.
110 degrees.
And you couldn't breathe because you were
You could
hot.
breathe,
Okay.
but you know it was uncomfortable. But I was young. But then the mushrooms start kicking in.
And what happened when the muscles started?
They stopped the concert not because of the mushrooms, because of the heat. And like I don't know, Bob Weir or whatever from the Grateful Dead, he's like, hey man, we got a heat thing going on here, man. I need everyone to take 3 steps backwards. Ready? 1, 2, and nobody moved. Like no one's. Even though these hippies, they love communism and you know cooperation. No. When Bob Weir or Jerry Garcia asked them to take 3 steps back so the people in front could breathe, all of a sudden it's every man for himself. They're not communists anymore, right? So anyway, they came out with fire hoses.
No!
Yeah.
That is so
And they
freaking cool!
And blew us.
Did you get water?
Yes, and they just, not only did the water wet you, but it like blew you back. Like it made everyone move back.
No.
Yeah, and then when the crowd thinned out, me and my friend Jim were like, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, but the music, how did the music feel when you were on?
Oh, the music was awesome. Yeah. Because the Grateful Dead would have these big sound systems, these big speakers. They had such a big operation, they had actually 2 sets of stages. So like if you're watching the Dead in Philadelphia in 1987, July 10th, and let's say July 11th or July 12th, they're going to play at like RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. The crew is already there setting up the stage. So when they get there, and then another crew tears down the Philadelphia stage, and maybe say, where would you go? Like maybe after RFK, you might go up to like Foxborough in Massachusetts, or you might, you know, whatever, go to a giant stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And they would leapfrog each other. So this huge sound system, the Grateful Dead were actually pioneers in the engineering of stadium sound system. Because these stadiums were huge and the sound systems sucked. So they, you know, so then we went all the way to the back, where like if you're ever at a baseball game in the outfield and you see him hit the ball and then you hear the noise later, it's the same but with music. You would see the guitar stroke and hear the, like it just was weird, you know? And we just sat through that concert and that was it. And so anyways, the guy sends me the pack of mushrooms. I remember that unpleasant experience, so I didn't dare plant them. Now, they were probably fine. They were probably like portobello or shiitake. They would have made a great dinner. But I wasn't taking no chances.
No, I understand after that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, where are we now? Oh, Cowell Pyro just ordered third batch of mame from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell me, did you get Magana the first 2 times, or did you get like one Magana and one Lorito? I'd like to know. What varieties have you had, if you could tell us? Jupiter, you're the same. Went through 5 t-shirts working in the yard throughout the day. Yeah. These jeans I put in the hamper could have stood up on their own. There was so much salt, they were like solid. Yeah. Orland, you clear a lot of toxins. Yeah, I think like working hard, I think there's something very healthy about putting in a hard physical day's work and, rehydrating and, adding your nutrients throughout the day. There's something great about that. The older I get, though, I'm to a point now where, nowhere to lie, I won't take my boots off until I know there's nothing more to do. Because if I take my boots off and then I remember, oh, I gotta go out and, unhitch this trailer so my son can take the truck. As soon as my boots come off, that's it. They ain't going back on till the next day.
Yeah, and I understand.
Yeah.
Honey, I gotta go, okay?
Go.
Bye, guys.
Let's see. Corey, fly eagles fly. He knows. He knows. Let's see who else we got here. So, oh wow, you guys have been commenting. I really went off on that story there.
You did.
Yeah.
It was a fun story.
Yeah, Lethal, you're right. The humidity really does it makes me sweat at least. Doug just sent the order info for a box for Joy's uncle. Okay, fantastic, Doug. Thank you. I'd be happy to send him a box. Ham jam, I think would be great. Cal Pyro, FedEx sucks for delivery. The last box was beat to shit. Cal Pyro, I use UPS. Maybe you meant to say UPS. And UPS has been like worlds better than US Postal. My first 4 or 5 years of doing this, I was using US Postal, and finally the business got big enough that I could, get a good rate from UPS and use these nice boxes. If it was a FedEx box, it wouldn't have been for me. If it was a UPS box, I apologize for if they did mishandle your box. However, US Postal got to the point right around this time last year that I couldn't even sleep if I sent anything from them, and I gave them one more chance, and I sent 2 pallets of fruit, and they let one of them sit in the Opelika Processing Center for 3 days in the South Florida summer heat. And I know you're saying, oh, you got a refund and all that. No. It cost me about $5,000, and it would have cost me $10,000 in labor to get that $5,000 back with the hoops they make you jump through. It always sounds easier when it's someone else's money and someone else's fight, right? But trust me when I tell you, what I would have had to do to fight the post office and not even be sure I would win, I was better off just walking away and cutting my losses. And that's when I switched to UPS. They were horrible. And I'll tell you what, UPS, my very first night dropping off at the depot, they were so nice and just so great. And every time I go over, I bring them fruit. If I go to the UPS store, I bring boxes of mangoes. They come out and help me unload the truck. It's a love fest. I love working with UPS. They're fantastic. Joseph wants to know, is that on the online store? If you're asking about the jam, it is not. I won't sell jam. There's too much. I won't sell any prepared food because I'm a farmer selling fruit. I've got a whole set of regulations, a whole set of food handling that I adhere to. When you start getting into prepared foods, dried fruits, jams and jellies, I can't think of any, fruit leather, different things like that, right? Then you get into a whole bigger level of licensing and inspections and food handling, and that's just not somewhere I want to take my business. I think we found a great niche, which is selling fruit in a sort of no frills way for people who just want to enjoy it and eat it. We're not I have a former employee who sends me every Christmas, is it Harry and Paul, these pears. And they come in such a beautiful box. individually cardboard protected little tissue paper, the most gorgeous gift, and like not a blemish on the pears. But of course he's paying, probably $200 and I'm eating 10 pears, That's not me. That's not my business model. I want you guys to taste the fruit. Heck, I'm not even targeting Florida customers, because I tell people all the time, I see a Florida area code, hey, I want to order some fruit. I say, that's great, and I love that you want to order fruit from me, but you can probably get what I can give you 10 or 15 minutes from your house in the summertime. I got a guy right down the street, walking distance. Well, it'd be a long walk, but you could walk it if you wanted to. When I saw the address, I immediately refunded the guy's money. I packed up a box, put it under my arm, drove to his house. I said, what the hell are you doing buying mamey from me? Not only do you live right down the street, we're up to our necks in mamey and all the fruit stands and stuff. He said, no, I just wanted to support your web, I love watching your videos and I want to support you. And he said, come on out back, I want to show you my mamey tree. The guy grew mamey, and yet he bought it from me, So like, I get that people want to support me and stuff like that, and it makes me, puts a tear to my eye. Like, I'm thrilled with that. But like, I tell people from Florida all the time, just go to a local fruit stand. A Hayden genetically is going to be a Hayden. A Namdok Mai is going to be a Namdok Mai, whether you get it from me or you get it at a local fruit stand. Now, on the other hand, if your sock's in the garden and you're way the hell over in Washington, now I can add value, because you ain't going to you can get your mushrooms over there in Washington. You can get hella good crabs, right, out there if you go out into the salt water. But you ain't gonna get tropical fruit. If you're in Arizona, if you're in New Mexico, Colorado. Unfortunately, I can't ship mangoes to California. I could ship avocados though. Now you're getting something from me. And that's that's my best customer. My best customer is a person who grew up in like Rockford, Illinois, or Chicago, Illinois, or Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And the only mangoes he's ever had are maybe from the grocery store, and they didn't knock his socks off, or her socks off. Or maybe got a little dessert at a Thai restaurant, and it was good, not great. And then you open a box, and there's a beautiful Naomi like this in it, or maybe and a Valencia Pride, or I'm trying to figure out what this is. I think this is I think this is I don't even know what mango that is. I don't even remember where that came from. It looks like it's a Hayden. This is a Hayden. This is a big Hayden. And they take a bite of it and it just blows their mind. It's like not only the best mango they ever had, but one of the best pieces of fruit they ever had, right? That's who I really want to make their day. Now, I love my Florida customers, and I'm closest with my Florida customers because we've even met, in person and stuff in a lot of cases. But anyways, that's what my business is primarily aimed at. Greater Good was at the Father's Day event. That was a great event, wasn't it, Greater? I loved that day. I loved it. I mean, I'm going to the Mango Festival in June up at Palm Beach County Convention Center, and I'm going because you guys are all going to be there, and I'm going because, Alex and Paul and Vince and Chris are running it, and I love those guys. And however, I'm really not an indoor guy. I very rarely go to indoor events. That day at Tropical Acres, we were out under the trees. Oh God, just what a great day. And I got to try, that was the day my wife really converted to being a mango lover. I was already there. It took her maybe an extra couple years to come along. And that day just flipped her. And I'll just cherish that day, In fact, maybe I'll try to replicate that a little bit here on the 8th in maybe a little more ragtag manner. I think Alex is a lot tighter than me. I think he's a smarter guy. Could probably put on a better event than me. Mine's probably going to be a little on the loose side, but whatever. That's the way I like doing things. Orlin, we haven't met yet. You're the one from LA, and yeah, I remember we exchanged messages, and I explained to you about the Department of Agriculture. So you're not the guy I met, but I do recall now exchanging information about you about how the Department of Agriculture won't let me ship my mangoes there. Sucks in the garden, still laughing. Jupiter has room for 3 more mango trees, and what do I think you're missing? Jupiter, I really apologize because I know on the last stream you gave us your very impressive list. I will ask you a few. Do you have the lemon zest? From what I'm told, it's a bear to grow, but I have tasted it, and it might be the best tasting mango I ever had. I planted one, and it is. It's a mess. It just does not look like a proud, vibrant mango tree. You know, the leaves are getting a lot of fungus and stuff, and I'm doing my best to take care of it, but it is certainly not the other end of the spectrum, which is a Valencia Pride that if, you know, you eat one and accidentally drop the seed, you go out the next morning and you have a 40-foot tree, practically, right? So lemon zest, I like. What's the orange one? Orange sherbet? There's an orange sherbet one. Delicious mango. Oof. But I think you might have that. The Gary, alternate bearer or maybe a shy bearer, but a delicious mango. One that Julian grows, an Egyptian variety called Timor. Holy crap. Oh, that thing is so good. You just want to eat a Timor and sit down and write some kind of poem that'll change people's lives for the better. Timor is a good one too. Lethal Designs is laughing. Socks in the garden. Okay, so Socks just asked Jupiter what he grows too, so let's see if he answered. Yeah, he did answer. Okay, I'm going to catch up here. Creamy Pops is from Trinidad and Tobago, and and I inspired him to want to be a farmer. Thank you. You know, Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of people from the Caribbean really know their tropical fruits. Trinidad and Tobago, I know you guys really love sapodilla, or what some people call chicos, and you know your stuff. All of my customers from Trinidad and Tobago, they really know their tropical fruit. Let's see. Okay, Jupiter, you got Fairchild, Pina Colada, Pickering, ice cream, cotton candy, M4. You have lemon zest. Okay. Or you have orange sherbet. I should have known. Okay, so right there, look at dude. Lemon zest, orange sherbet, sweet tart. I mean, dude. Top of the line. Maybe you add a sunrise to that. Maybe you add a white Perry. Now again, this is me talking from preference. I am a freak for white Perry. I tried one called a Bombay. I thought it was really good. Alex at Tropical Acres had me taste one last year called an Ambrosia. Blew my mind. It was so good. So that might be a good option for you also. And Lethal Designs, not the men's bathroom in the stadium. Yeah, I have seen people pee on the football field at these concerts too, Lethal. You've been to East Rutherford, so you've been on the East Coast. Wait, you just said, oh, you're from near the Panhandle, up Tallahassee way, I think you mentioned, yeah. All 3 were Magani, but they're delicious. Okay, fantastic. Well, actually, I'm not gonna, no, never mind. I was about to say I'm picking Lorito this week, but I can't say that because I might get, 150 pounds of Lorito and sell 250 pounds of mango, and I'll send someone Magana and they'll say, oh, you said in the live stream Lorito, and then it turns into a whole thing. I can't commit. Okay, Socks in the Garden has, wait a minute, Socks. Oh, okay, you answered my question. We will see how many survive in your greenhouse this winter. Wow. So Socks is over in Washington growing Siatong, which I never heard of. Namdak Mai, which is one of my favorites. Pickering, also one of my favorites. Orange Sherbet, one of my favorites. Lemon Meringue. I just bought a new lemon meringue tree to replace a stubborn orange essence tree that hasn't done shit for growth in the last 3 years. Dwarf Hawaiian M4, Kathy and CC Love. Wow, you have an excellent collection of Socks. Really, really good. Great, I agree with you. Jupiter has a good collection when you read Socks' collection also. So Orland, since you're asking, I might be doing the Lorito instead of the Magana this week, but don't hold me to it. If you order from me, you're just going to get what I pick. Like I can't commit to a specific variety. It just, my business isn't engineered that way, I don't know what property I'm gonna be picking on any given day. I have crews of people I have to coordinate. I've got, you know, packing house customers and fruit stand customers, and it's just, I just can't commit to specific varieties. Now, some of the other people that own more of like a nursery, and they've got all these varieties right there. I got, like, some of my varieties are like, you know, a 40-minute drive that way, and some of them are a 15-minute drive that way. Some of them I could walk right into my backyard, you know. It would be different if I had all 30 acres here and I had like a nice mix of everything, but I don't, unfortunately. Jupiter, okay. Greater Good, says Kathy's hard to maintain, I don't know about that. Okay, Jupiter Mojo, Harry and David. Yeah, I wasn't sure what the name of the company is. I mean, hell, I would love to be able to put out their quality, but like, what would I do with this mango then? You know, look at it. It's, I mean, even this is the clean side, and it's not that good. You're not, I can't charge someone $150 for a box with a mango that looks like that in it, but I'm happy to charge what I charge now, you know, which is significantly less than $150 a box. Okay, Calpro, it was UPS, not FedEx. Yeah, I'm glad your fruit was unharmed. Okay, let me know the next time you buy from me. I get almost no complaints from UPS. When I used to ship via US Postal, it was horrible. I hated it. Oh God. I mean, it was still like a low percentage, but let's even call it 5%. You know, if I sent out 100 boxes, I was going to get 5 pictures of boxes with freaking tire tracks on them, or just, you know, I'd drop at the post office, then I'd go back the next day and my pallet is still sitting there. Like, oh, they were terrible. Terrible. All right, Doug's out of here. Doug made me an excellent dinner about 2-3 weeks ago. Curry goat, curry chicken, a special kind of bread. Oh, it was the greatest. Lethal Designs is out of here. Orland over, how long is the Malmay season? That's a great question. I'll get right back to it. Spun Smurf, watched your first Sleepy Lizard video today. Oh, and you subscribed and ordered avocados. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I love getting new subscribers, and welcome to the channel. I think you'll find to a certain extent that you want to participate. There's a group here that they're becoming friends with each other. Like, we have Socks all the way out in Washington. We have Doug right up the street from me. We have Greater Good about 2 hours north. We have Lethal, who's about 6 hours away. We have, who was the other one? I'm just trying to remember now. Corey, about, I think he said about 4 hours away. And these people, we're all becoming friends with each other. And so you just walked into that community, so welcome. I'm glad you're here. Orland wants to know, how long is the Mamey season? Right now, we start picking the Magana in late January, early February. Remember, Mother Nature doesn't operate on a calendar, but roughly in those times. The Magana gets us through, then we'll start picking the Lorito in May. The Lorito will get us through May and part of June, just in time to start picking the Key West. And then the Key West will get us through to the fall. That's the current state of the mango industry. Julian Lara at Lara Farms discovered a new variety at the Tropical Research and Education Center right here across the street from my house. I could hit a golf ball from here into one of their farm fields. I'm not even a golfer. I'm a shitty golfer. That's how close they are. I'm not even a shitty golfer. I don't golf at all. But I could hit a golf ball. I know I could at least hit a golf ball from here to there. Okay. Julian is in with them because his dad used to work there. And he found a variety of Mamey ripe and edible in the month of November, and discovered that it also ripe and edible in December and also in January, and they named it the Jamaican. And Julian started grafting from that one tree across the street that is a fruit-bearing tree, and he started making grafts of it 2 or so seasons ago. He's got people on a waiting list, and it won't be long before those trees start producing fruit, and we will have a year-round Mamey crop. So pretty soon, within the next 5 years, we will have a year-round Mamey crop, which I think is awesome. And it was really cool to not only watch, but like to eat one of the first Jamaicas that was discovered. and taste it. And it tastes really good. It's small and round, a little like, well, not quite like that, maybe a little bit like this. Like a small and round, it doesn't have the football shape, it's round, and it's got a bright red flesh on the inside. I think the ones I've had 2 seeds, and it's so sweet and nice. So right now, say February through October, in about 3 or 4 years, it'll be year round. Greater good. There will be mamey for sale on June 8th. Yes, there will. I'm going to have mamey and mango for sure. I'm going to reach out to some friends of mine that have other types of fruit. Lychee maybe. I don't even know. Yeah, there'll still be lychee around. I got out of lychee. I love lychee and I'd love to like grow it and sell it right out in front. But I'm in the online and shipping lychee. It's possible, but it has to be overnight, and I'm just not comfortable taking $150, $180 from someone for $10 worth of fruit, so that they could get it overnight and enjoy it. You know, now if we're friends and you live in Seattle and you're having a party and you want to impress your boss with lychee martinis because he speaks fondly of taking his wife on their honeymoon or something, right? Some special case, yeah, I'll do you a favor. But from a business perspective, I really want to make my money on fruit, not on shipping. You know, if I could sell lychees, say for $50 shipped, I'd gladly do it because people love them. I love them. I got some in my fridge right now. They're delicious. But I don't want to be just charging someone that much money for such little fruit, even though it's mostly in the shipping. I just don't feel comfortable with it. But yeah, greater good. There'll be mamey for sale. Socks in the garden. Okay, Siatong is a seedling of Nam Dak Mai. I know there's a lot of variants and offshoots of Nam Dak Mai as well. Jupiter. It's generally $8 to $10 a pound for pickup mango. I'd say that's what a lot of places, especially for the really high-end stuff up in Palm Beach County. And for a lot of those mangoes, I'd also say it's worth it. I sell the Florida Classics, Kit, Kent, Glenn, Hayden, Tommy, Palmer, Valencia Pride. And then I got a few, one-offs, Van Dyke. I think that's no wait, I don't know what that one is. This was a weird one I picked the other day and I'm not even sure what it is. I don't charge near that for in person. But I'm selling, the classic Florida varieties too, which is a little different than what you get at, say, Truly Tropical Acres. Paul from Fruitful Trees, I think he does pick up. I think his buddy Ram has been putting on Facebook lately. They charge, more, but those are the more fussy to grow varieties also. Corey won the avocado from me. And Corey, was that last year or this year? Because if it's this year, I have a little whiteboard with all the people I owe avocado. The avocado season hasn't started yet for 2025 yet. Oh, greater good mowed the grass during the week. I did 10 acres this week. It was brutal. Well, the one grove was, some of the grass was shoulder height. I had to go over it like 10 times. It was brutal. Brad Stewart, the Booth 8 were packed perfect and were the best avocados you've ever had, and you'll order again this year. Brad, those Booth 8s were such a great discovery for me. They're in a grove that I lease, a 10-acre avocado grove, and they're delicious. They're a lot like a Hass, they're smaller. They've got like an oily, they must be high in oil content. They've got such a wonderful avocado flavor. And the other thing is they're small. I think we were getting 9 or more in each box. Unlike, say, when I do choquette, I can only get 4 in each box because the choquettes are 3 pounds plus each. But the Booths, I can put a lot more in a box. So when you get a choquette, you cut open a 3.5 pound avocado. That's an awful lot of avocado to eat. Look, it is what it is. That's how big they grow. Just like this jackfruit. It's up to me and my wife to eat this sucker. But the Booth 8 I love because they're nice little guys. And my customers can put a bunch in the fridge to slow the ripening, put a few on the counter, and then every day take one out of the fridge. And you'll have a good 2 weeks of avocado eating with those bouquets. Jeremy Pinto, what's my favorite variety of avocado for taste? And yes, the Jamaica Mame is really good, Jeremy, when you get to taste it. I love the Lula for taste. The Lula is my top. It's delicious. It's similar to the Bouthé. And the reason you don't see a lot of Lula, the reason you won't see Lula in the market is because it's a little avocado, but it's got a huge avocado seed. So my choquettes that get up to 3 3/4 a pound are gonna have the same size seed as a Lula that's maybe 11 or 12 ounces. So the seed to flesh ratio is very seed to flesh high, I guess. You get a lot more seed versus flesh per fruit in a Lula. It's just a thin ring of flesh. So you have a big seed with a thin ring of flesh with like a shell-like, almost like the Bouthé. Jeremy can tell. No, wait, who's the one that was telling me he tried the Corey? No, Brad. Brad can tell you the Bouthé has kind of a thick, almost like a shell more than a skin. So does the Lula. So that's number one. It's got a bad seed to flesh ratio. Number two, the skin of the Lula is very susceptible to scarring. And of course, supermarkets don't like that, even though the flesh underneath is unimpacted. And so farmers grow Lulas in their backyard, but we don't sell them because they're good for eating, but they're not good for business. A second variety that I discovered last year, and it just blew my mind, the Marcus pumpkin. And it is sweet. It's a very sweet avocado. And oh God, is it creamy and delicious. And I think two more that are high up on my list are the Simmons, which that's the other end of the spectrum. That's a low oil, nutty flavored, firm fleshed avocado. And then the Brogdon. The Brogdon are a smooth black skin, and the skin is thin enough you can eat it like an apple. You can just pick a Brogdon, pick it off the tree, let it soften on your counter, and you don't even have to cut it. You can eat the skin like you're eating an apple. They're delicious. Let's see, socks in the garden, gotta mow the lawn tomorrow. Greater Good knows the Bouthé does an outstanding avocado. Orland, yeah, well, and I'll tell you something, Orland, about eating Mame all year. Even though the season doesn't go all year, this stuff freezes better than any fruit. Probably the best freezing fruit there is. You know how you could freeze bananas and like, you know, you take them out and they still kind of taste like a banana. You know, you try to freeze mango flesh, it's gonna get some cell damage. It's just a lot of stuff. Berries freeze a little bit, but they get kind of sour. Strawberries, I don't think you could ever freeze like a citrus. Mame, if you let it ripen, if I let these two ripen on the counter and I eat one and I freeze one, it's like homemade ice cream. And we don't even prep them. I just put them in the freezer whole. So, you know, you can freeze Mame and stretch your Mame season. A lot of people do prep it. They'll take the flesh, put them in Ziploc bags and freeze them. Not only does Mame freeze well, I think most of us freeze our fruit as like a plan B because we have more fruit than we can eat and we want to stretch it and make it last. Mame, I would like proactively, purposely freeze it because it's a whole different snack when it's frozen. It's like nature's ice cream. If I took chunks of Mame, frozen Mame, put them on a plate, someone would think there were ingredients. They'd think there was some type of cream or some type of milk or something in there like an ice cream. And I think if you took it and maybe put a little honey over it or just, you know, a little vanilla or something, oh, it would make just an amazing, amazing dessert. Creamy Pops would rather buy mangoes with anthracnose on the skin than a perfect looking skin because for him, that's when they're the sweetest. I mean, look, this is a box of uglies. I sell ugly mangoes at guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. I sell the uglies at a discounted rate because, you know, they're ugly. But those of us who eat mangoes know they're fine. Now, I don't think an ugly Hayden, if I pick an ugly and I pick his next door neighbor from the same branch that's pristine, And I let them ripen the same way on the counter. They're going to taste exactly the same. The ugly isn't going to be better than the clean one, and the clean one isn't going to be better than the ugly. I think a lot of times the reason why people see a fruit that's got some staining on it and they say it's better that way is because, and I know this was true for me growing up, we don't learn to eat ripe fruit. In America, everything we do is about extending shelf life. It's about extending the life of our fruit. I grew up, I could never understand why my dad would eat so much cantaloupe. I thought cantaloupe was flavorless. It even made me gag. And my dad would buy 2 cantaloupes, bring them home, stick them in the fridge. And when he was ready, he'd take them out, if he wanted it for breakfast the next day, he'd take it out of the fridge, cut himself a little canoe or 2 off of it, stick it back in the fridge. And then one day, a buddy of mine who was a chef was talking about cantaloupe, and I'm like, oh, I never really got any flavor off it. He said, here's what I want you to do. He said, go home and put it on the counter. Cantaloupe has a little belly button just like this mamey. He said, I want you to wait for 2 things. I want you to wait till you get a little fuzz around the belly button, a little bit of fungal growth or whatever, a little bit of fuzz. And I want you to wait till your kitchen, and then your kitchen will also smell like cantaloupe. He said, cut it open then and eat it. And oh my God, was it delicious. A properly ripened cantaloupe. Bananas. Everyone wants to be having that banana that's got a little bit of green still in the skin. To me, that they taste like chalk. If I'm in like a Starbucks, and back when I used to like train more and I'd be drinking shakes with protein and crap like that, I don't really do that much anymore. I'd ask them if they had any bananas that they've already discarded because they were too brown. And to me, they're the sweetest ones. And so I don't think it's like dirty versus clean. I think it's like, this guy here, this Tommy Mango, he's going to start to get, he's not going to be as dark right away. He's going to get these dark stains as he approaches prime sweetness. And they hit that prime sweetness, and then, 1 second later, they're beyond prime sweetness, and they get a little bit of a funk to them. But I think when we let our fruit ripen properly, it does get sometimes a little nasty looking, and that is when it tastes the best. But that applies to clean fruit and, so-called dirty or ugly fruit like these here. Let's see. Okay, Corey, it was last year, so you got your avocado. Socks in the Garden never had a mamey. Okay, all right. Socks. Think the texture of a banana mixed with the flavor of a very well-cooked sweet potato, mixed with a little splash of cherry, mixed with what I'll call tropical. So that tropical flavor that's in a mango, that's in a lychee, that's in a guanabana or a soursop. So you're looking at like a tropical leaning, a tropical flavored sweet potato with banana texture, and it's like eating pudding. We cut them in half and we just scoop the bites right out. I really fell in love with mamey about 6 or 7 years ago. It's not cheap, and I would spend a lot of money on it. Well, hell, and now that me and my partner have this mamey, that wasn't cheap either. The mamey I invested in this year, even at the farm level, like I'm investing even less than wholesale price, right? When I lease a grove, and it ain't cheap. It's an expensive fruit, but it is good. Jupiter, you heard you could also freeze white sapote. I know Paul was freezing white sapote. Paul from Fruitful Trees last year was freezing white sapote. And then Orland took my advice and froze some. They'll be making ice cream soon. Great. Brad Stewart, when do I usually have the first avocados available? It's funny you say that, Brad, because I just put out a little YouTube short yesterday. Our first day of picking avocado was supposed to be May 23rd, where we picked the Donny variety. The Donnies normally this year are about at least a pound, heading toward 2 pounds, about 3.5 to 4 inches in diameter. My Donnies, if I found one like this out on my tree, that would be one of the bigger ones. They're about 3/4 the size of this right now. So on any given season, we start with the Donnies in May. I typically send the Donnies to the packing house, not to my retail customers. I usually wait for Simmons, which is around the 4th of July. Why do I wait for Simmons over Donnie? 3 reasons. Number one, the Donnie is early and it gets such a good price at the packing house that it just makes a lot of sense for me to just send my guys out, clear the trees, you know, and get the job done. While the price is high wholesale, because I got the Simmons right behind them, right? Reason number 2, the Donnie doesn't have as much shelf life as other avocados. I don't know why. I mean, the Donnie, you know, when a Donnie pops like a little pea on the end of the branch, so does a Monroe, right? And they'll grow that at the same rate until right about mid-May. And if we get some rain, the Donnie will start popping and they'll get to be 1 to 2 pounds. The Monroe will just keep growing. And we don't pick the Monroe till November, right? So I don't know if there's something having to do with that fast growth versus the slow growth of the Monroe. I think also when I'm picking Donnies, it's dead, like it's just the dead of the heat, right? We're going to be sending these things in June when it's hot everywhere in the United States. But I find that the Donnies kind of soften up quicker when I send them. And then the third reason is Paul from Fruitful Trees destroyed the Donnie market. He doesn't like the Donnie. That's his personal. I love Paul. I love him. I mean, I'm going to babysit his children for him in a couple of weeks. But he don't like the Donnie, and he has a lot of followers, and he did a negative video about it, and all of a sudden people are telling me, don't send me Donnie, and I'm saying, have you ever tasted Donnie? They're saying no. Well, I mean, I had a woman buy Donnies off of me, and while they were on the way, she watched one of Paul's videos and told me, got mad at me and said she wanted her money back, and I'm like, man, just because one guy who has a very restrictive diet, by the way, a very specific diet, right? Just because one guy don't like them, it doesn't mean they're a bad avocado. But Paul has kind of poisoned the market a little bit on the Donnie, and so people who know us from social media just have shied away from that variety. Now, I have a whole different group, and I do save some Donnies for them, and those are people who grew up in Cuba, South Florida, or elsewhere in the Caribbean, who love a mild flavored avocado. The Donnie is a mild flavored avocado, and I think that's a lot of why Paul doesn't like it. But there's other people who their avocado is an accompaniment to their dinner. So they might be having some grilled chicken, maybe with some onions on top, some rice and beans, and then they'll put a few spears of avocado. They don't want a very flavorful avocado like the Booth 8 or the Marcus Pumpkin. They want something that's more mild. They don't want a high oil content. They want a low oil content. And that's, I think, a function of what people grew up eating. And so I do always save a few Donnies for people who, you know, for those certain customers, because, you know, they grew up somewhere, now they live somewhere that they can't get the avocados they grew up on. But normally for me, it's right around the 4th of July, and it's Simmons, which I love sending Simmons because it's one of my favorite varieties. I like the Donnie, but I love the Simmons. Like, I will just, when I'm picking Simmons, every now and then one of them just catches my eye, and I'm like, all right, that's for me in a couple days. And I always have a pipeline of Simmons. And Simmons is one of the avocados, I will eat it unadulterated. I'll just cut it and eat it as is. Sometimes I'll put a little salt, maybe a little bit of olive oil, but most of the time I'm just cutting spears and putting little chunks of Simmons, and I just love them. And the Simmons also travel well. They're a really pretty avocado. They're pear-shaped. They have a beautiful, smooth green skin. And so the 4th of July is usually when I start with avocados. And similar to that Jamaica Mame story, Julie and Lara from Lara Farms also discovered at the very same place, the Trek, an avocado that you can harvest in the month of April, and he calls it the May for April, May. And similarly, there's only one tree that produces it right now. Julian has grafted a bunch of them. I think he's sold like 500 of them. There's a huge waiting list for it, and I think the May is going to be, it's like a big, heavy, dense house. But you could pick it in what's the dead spot of the avocado season right now, which is April and May. So anyway, short answer, my season starts around July 4th. Corey kept 3 of his avocados and gave the other 3 away. Yeah, I mean, they're so big. I mean, I wish I could send just 1 or 2, but it doesn't make sense financially, you know, because of the shipping involved. Sox agrees with me, taste is subjective and we have different preferences, that's right. Brad Stewart, your Florida house flowered but didn't produce any fruit this spring. You hand pollinated it to no avail. Someone told you Simmons wouldn't grow well up there. Yeah, Jupiter Simmons is not cold hardy. So I don't know if it would give you trouble where you are, but it's not cold hardy. Brad, I wouldn't use this year as a gauge for how your avocado tree is doing. The video I said I did about the Donnies yesterday and how they're supposed to be at least 1 pound to 2 pounds and they're only small like this. That's not just me. That's the whole industry. And there's a couple other varieties that are also either a very light crop or a late crop or no crop at all. I don't know about Florida Asp, but this is a bad year for avocados across the board. And so, you know, I would say give your tree another year. Looks like we've been on this stream. What time is it? 7:30. God, we started at 5. I've been yapping for 2.5 hours. Holy crap! I really like you people. Okay, Greater Good. Your Atme got stepped up into a 3-gallon container and it's coming along fine. Is it in your possession or does Julian still have it in a 3-gallon? I'd be curious to know. And Brad says, gotcha and thank you. Yeah, I'd give it another year and see what happens, you know. You know what, guys, I'm gonna back off at this point, maybe say goodbye. I've never done a stream this long, but you guys were really engaged and you kept me going and I really appreciate that. As my wife, as Noelia says, you know, this time of year, it's just such a great time of year for us because, you know, we sell the fruit at guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com, and we spend Thursday to Sunday building these boxes and getting everything ready, printing labels, a surprisingly time-consuming process. Even though the computer automates much of it, it's still, you have to be careful, you got to, you know, it's a time-consuming process. Packing the boxes, all that stuff, and picking, but as I always say, when I'm up in the machine, and I'm just kind of looking at a bunch of fruit, and I might see one like this guy here that's all stained up, and I say, I'll leave that on the tree, you know, and then I'll see a nice, pristine, clean one, you know, like this guy here, and pick it and put it in because one of my customers is getting that mango or avocado or what have you, and I just feel so good on those days, and then I come home and she puts them in the box, and we work. UPS closes at 8, and we usually get our last truckload over there by about 7:45. Come home sweaty, dehydrated, sore. I don't even want to bend over to take my boots off, but so happy. And we sit right, like the camera's looking at me this way, like there's a couch behind, like if you guys were looking at me, like you'd be sitting on my couch right now. And we just get on the floor and take a pillow and put the laptop on a pillow and we'll watch some YouTube videos and go to bed. And it really is the greatest feeling, you know, and it's great. As I've started doing these streams more, and I'm doing the same on TikTok now, I've developed quite a following on TikTok as well, surprisingly for an old guy. It seems to be a young person's domain, but I've done well over there. I know Greater Good's going to be here. I know Jupiter's going to be here. I know Frosty Lone Wolf. I have a feeling Socks in the Garden is going to be a regular. You know, Lethal Designs is going to be here. Doug's going to drop in, and I know I'm forgetting a bunch of you. Forgive me. And some of you I have a face with the name, and some I don't. Orland, right? But I just look forward to it. I was bored the other day. I was home alone, and my choices are either fire up the karaoke machine. I got my little microphone right here, and sometimes if I have some time to kill, I'll sing a few songs. And the other day I said, you know what, let me just do an impromptu live stream. And I did it like vertical orientation. I think YouTube treats that a little different. And it was just a great way to spend lunch with you guys, you know. And this was a fantastic way for me to spend a Sunday. My kid's gone out with his girlfriend. My wife is on the phone with a friend of hers that's having a rough time right now. She needs someone to talk to. And you guys spent the day with me. I got to eat some jackfruit. I got to eat some of our jam. We got to sample some of our mangoes. Got to answer your questions, introduce you guys to some new fruits and stuff like that. And so with that, I think I'm going to sign off. I'm going to just look if there's any last questions I haven't answered. Socks, I need you to know I'm probably going to be teasing you about your name as long as you keep coming back to my streams. And Brad, thank you for the compliment. Grader, thank you for the compliment. Socks in the Garden, we'll give you some karaoke, maybe next time. And wait a minute, Socks, what can't you believe you missed? You can't believe you missed what? Karaoke? I've never sang it to you guys like live. I don't even know if the sound would carry through. And plus, I'd probably be too shy. I usually do it when I'm alone, if that's what you're referring to. But anyway, Socks, we'll be seeing you. We'll be great, good, Brad, all you guys, Orland. We'll see you on the next stream. I keep saying this, and I am going to do it. I'm going to put a regular schedule. Like, maybe what I'll do is EW's idea of having like every other week. Maybe I'll do like a fruit sale on the first Saturday and second Saturday and fourth Saturday of the month, something like that. And maybe the Friday night before we'll do a little live stream. I don't know, we'll figure something out. But anyways, I'm gonna say goodbye. Sun's starting to go down, and we'll see you all on the next stream. Thank you.